Oh shit, we're live from the looks of things. If I've done everything correctly, if I have aligned all of the mechanisms and machines and nonsense and various buttons that need pushing, if I have pushed all the buttons correctly, I should be live. But you never know. It looks like I'm live. All right, let me get the URL because I'm always liable to forget. There we go. Nope, 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 nope. There we go. Hello. We got people in the chat. Very exciting. Sorry I'm a little bit later than usual today. Just slightly later. It's time to celebrate good times. Come on. Let's celebrate YGO Abridged. Oh, it's been 20 years. 20 years of memes and memories and memories. Do Lion King Abridged. The SNES Geek, I feel like if Yu-Gi-Oh didn't give me copyright issues, Lion King certainly would do the job. If I wasn't already inundated with copyright strikes and all kinds of all kinds of nonsense like that, I would do this. But unfortunately, it's off the table. Good to have you here, folks. Ugh. I'm a little bit flustered. You'll have to forgive me. Give me a sec to get everything set up here. I do want to acknowledge I saw a fair few chats, a fair few people in the comments. Well, not a lot, but a few in the comments of the last few streams being like, you spend an hour watching the show and 2 hours responding to super chats. And I understand that as a concern. I understand you might not be super happy with the ratio of me responding to people and watching the videos. I just want to be clear though, this is not strictly a stream for watching the videos. This is a stream for celebrating Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged and the 20 years thereof that have existed. And part of that for me is just chatting to you guys and, you know, responding to, you know, your generosity and your kindness and your messages. And you know, to me, it's you guys are as much a part of that as the videos are, the celebration, in my opinion. I saw a few people being like, well, your video retention isn't going to be very good if you have an hour of video watching and 2 hours of responding. And I'm going to be honest, I don't care about the video retention. I care about hanging out and having a good time. And that's my plan, is to do that. And I'm looking forward to it today. Welcome, by the way. I'm Little Karibo. I don't stream to YouTube a great deal, so if I am doing anything, if I'm committing any YouTube faux pas with some of these streams, you'll have to forgive me. I'm not used to doing it, but I personally am just sort of doing what I want to do and playing things as they come. Just playing the cards I'm dealt. No pun. No, I intended that pun. That was very intentional. We've already got a few super chats, but give me a sec here. Hi! I just want to say hello. It's good to have you here. And I want to also acknowledge that my plan was to stream yesterday, and then I think after this past week, I realized that the best way for me to do this and also continue to work on my videos and also not lose my voice is to do them Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I think that's going to be my ideal way of streaming these anniversary doohickeys, the doodads. But so it's going to be kind of long term. It's much longer term than I envisioned when I started it. I thought I would be able to get through like 20 episodes a week, but as it turns out, watching these episodes and chatting about them takes longer than I thought. Mire Gogito Ho took my handle, indica or sativa. Hybrid, baby. How's my dog doing? My dog is way better today, actually. I know we ended the stream yesterday. She was whining and looking at me. She's fine. She just really wanted to go out. But her stomach is much better. She's pretty much recovered as far as I can tell. I do appreciate you checking in. She was having not a great couple of days, but nothing like dire. I just wanted to be doubly sure that she was okay. JJH Rogers, I cannot type. I'm singing along to Leather Pants.
Well, I can type and sing Leather Pants. Let me show you. Ahem. Whoa, ho, 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 ho. This is difficult. Ho, let's take his leather pants. There you go. See, I wrote it. While singing it, I have command of all forces of nature. Singing, typing, sexting. Lots of ing words.
Brandon's Quest, welcome to the stream. I'm glad you got to see me live. What was the re-upload schedule when the deleted abridged videos came back? The re-upload schedule? Oh, that would have not been one episode a week. I don't remember what the re-upload. I don't remember the re-upload schedule. Like, are you talking about when the whole channel got struck? It was crazy. But I want to say I put everything up all in one go, but I don't remember. It's been a long time. CPH Smoker Girl. Hey, LK, how did you come up with the idea of Tristan having Zack and Cody as his imaginary friends? Honestly, I think I was watching Zack and Cody. I think I was watching Zack and Cody at the time and thinking, which character from Yu-Gi-Oh! Would like this? And it turned out, I guess it was Tristan? Was it Tristan? That's right. They appeared in his brain. And they were like,
don't listen to him, Tristan.
Fucking weird random joke that came from me watching Disney Channel. All right, we got a couple of super chats, then I'm going to jump into episode 17 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. Dragon Seeker 300, Little Kareem, I just want to say thank you. Over the last few weeks while I was going through testing to see if I had lung cancer, your videos helped me more than you know. Oh gosh, I hope you're doing okay. I hope those tests come back negative. I hope that you get good news. You know, just hang in there, and I'm really I'm rooting for you. All right, let me get to the super chats here, and then once we're done reading those, which might take a 5-10 minutes, give me a sec, and we can jump into episode 17, which is entitled "We Interrupt This Broadcast," because it is a bit of a clip show, kind of. Not clip show. What do you call it? It's like a montage. It's like I abridged the abridging. It's even shorter than it would be. Adam Lombardo, thank you for the super chat. I'm vending Bite of Seattle so I can rock the stream, but I still have to send a super chat. Oh, I see. You're at Seattle vending something. You're running a booth, I assume. You're running a vendor's booth. Well, I hope that it's going well. You're very kind to stop by and give a super chat, Adam. I hope that that Bite of Seattle is that sounds like a weird event. It sounds to me like some sort of goth vampire style event. I hope that they don't suck your blood while you're there. I assume it's vampires. David Martinez, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Little Karibo, been a fan since 2010. One of my favorite things is your cover of Without Me by Eminem. Two Dark Magician girls go round the outside, round the outside. Ooh. Oh, it's just a food event. My bad. Bite, of course. Bite of Seattle. It makes sense now. I just jumped right to vampires. I've been watching too much Interview with the Vampire. The Without Me, I'm glad you liked that, David. Andrew Brown, thank you for the super chat. If Marek was booking WWE today, what would he do for SummerSlam?
I would say no more wrestling. All of the events, all of the matches are replaced with card games, and they're all me defeating the Pharaoh. And then one of them is a bra and panties match featuring me, and I win because I look the best in those. I would win the pay-per-view.
I actually have no idea what the plan is for SummerSlam, so I wouldn't be able to tell you a version of it that is funny. Yeah, Vampire Lestat has been very good, Jason. I do agree. He's been fantastic. Great show. I was really impressed by that show. Yoshi, thank you for the super chat. My voice gives me super strength. Thanks for all the laughs, LK. Thank you for laughing, and I hope your voice does give you super strength. And I know that it does. Michael Holroyd, thank you for the super chat. Have you heard of the anime Tojima Wants to Be a Kamen Rider? I think you would really like it. I've heard of it. I've seen clips of it. I was interested in it. And I'm going to be honest, I saw enough of it via other people and via clips on the internet to the point that I was like, oh, I don't know if I would like that. I hate to say it. I know because it's Kamen Rider, you'd think that I would be all over it, but no, it actually looks a little too... How do I say this? It looks a little too anime for me. I hope that you guys understand. I'm saying that in a criticism way, sometimes anime can be said in a complimentary way, but that show looks a little too anime for me. I just have a low tolerance for anime shenanigans, and that looks like it has lots of them. Yeah. Someone says it's very silly. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's probably very enjoyable, and I'm probably being a bit of a stick in the mud, but it just doesn't look enough like what I want out of Kamen Rider, and it looks a little too much like anime. Maybe one day I'll check it out. Eatmar Strauss, thank you so much for the super chat. It's my 29th birthday, and I wanted to thank you. I don't know where I'd be without you. Not only the laughter, but we're still here. Helped me make sense in a very dark time and made me seek help. Thank you. Well, thank you. I'm proud of you for seeking that help, and honestly, thank you for being vulnerable enough to share that with us. And no, yeah, it's a two-way street. It really is. Hey, Void, it's great to see you in the chat. Kyber Corp. I know it really is a two-way street. You guys, whenever you guys thank me for helping you indirectly get through all these dark periods of your lives, you guys help me do that. And again, not directly, but by being part of this, by watching and supporting, and just by sort of vibing with the YGO Abridged, I guess is the best way to put it. You guys have really helped me. You guys made me feel less alone. I talked about this before on the previous streams. I felt very alone when I started this show. It was not something I can overstate. I was very lonely, but that turned around generally. Bro, do you at least like Full Metal? Yes, QZKOG 3470. I do like Full Metal Alchemist. It's a good show. There's anime that I like, don't get me wrong. But I think Full Metal Alchemist is a good example of an anime that doesn't feel too anime. It's just a good show. Shingo97, thank you so much for the super chat. Thanks for the Forbidden Memory streams. It was really great helping you through that game, especially since it's my favorite PS1 game. I'd love to revisit it, honestly. It was a lot of fun. Oh, Yolanator, I don't blame you. They are certainly part of it. So if those bother you, if those are triggering for you, yeah, no, do avoid the show. Janice Christine, thank you for the super chat. It will take a while to do this, but this is so worth it. Also, hello from Kyoto again. And Janice is my birth name, and I assume you're saying name, and I hate it that I never use anymore. I apologize for saying that name. I did not realize. That's my bad. Beautiful devil, and now you're drowning in parasocial relationships. That's the internet, though. I feel like that's just the internet. There's lots of those, but there's also lots of very positive, not parasocial relationships that came with it. Skepts YT, thank you for the super chat. What is your favorite parody movie? Oh, I mean, it's hard not to go with the original Naked Gun. It's great. It's just one of the best comedies ever made. And Leslie Nielsen is untouchable as far as straight men go, I also really like Airplane, but I think I like Naked Gun a bit better. Naked Gun is like a refined version of that. When am I hoping the next episode of YGO Abridged is coming out? Imminently. Literally imminently. I'm doing the finishing touches. Keep an eye out. Midnight Storm, thank you for the super chat. Finally able to catch you live. I love your videos. Been watching since middle school, and I'll be 30 this year. Does Bakura get his deserved screen time soon? Deserved? But yes, he does get screen time. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for watching since middle school. Gosh, it's been a while, huh? Huh? Mystic Mind Analysis. Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of those old comedies have transphobic humor in them. It's just one of those things that is regrettable, and I'm sure that they wouldn't necessarily do that these days, if you look at the new Naked Gun movie, for example. But at the same time, I used to watch the TV edit of the movie that didn't have that joke in it. So I still enjoyed watching that movie, regardless. Rissa Sang, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, Rissa. Thank you for the super chat. This year I turned half a century old, and I still play trading card games. I'll just be over here vibing with Grandpa Moto and the Black Luster Soldier. Oh yeah. No one must know of our forbidden triple threat of love. All right. I've read enough super chats. We're 20 minutes into the stream already. Let's turn the background music off. Turn the video on. Move myself out of the way so you can actually see the thing. Alright, so this is going to be episode 17 of YGO Abridged, which, this to me, and I know I've said this so much, I've said similar things quite a bit on these streams. I'm always starting these videos up being like, this is a bad episode. And I'm not wanting to go into this one saying that, but I do have regrets about this episode specifically, and I hope that you guys bear with me while I explain. This is, oh gosh, thank you for the $100 super chat there, Kayla Curieta2633. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, Kayla. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. I just saw that out of the corner of my eye. I really do appreciate it. I want to make sure that that I respond to that. Gosh. But this episode in particular, I have some regrets, specifically because it is the tournament. It is the semifinals of Duelist Kingdom. In fact, I think it might even be the quarterfinals. 4 streams and we're only at number 17. You know how many of these there are? I'm sorry, beautiful devil. I don't think the point of this is to rush through them, though. I don't think the point of them is to get through them as quickly as possible. You'll forgive me if this 20th anniversary lasts a couple of months. So this episode I have regrets because I wish I'd done each of these duels as individual episodes. In fact, when I got to Battle City and the Kaiba Corp Grand Championship, I really intentionally went out of my way to not skip any of the duels if I could help it, because I remember feeling really bad about doing that this time. I was like, well, nobody wants to just watch these duels. Nobody wants to watch these characters just duel in the same room over and over again. I really wish I did do that. In fact, if I were to go back and sort of flesh out any of these episodes from early on, it would probably be this one, just because you've got, what, Yami Yugi versus My Valentine, you got Bandit Keith versus Joey, which could have been a lot of fun. You've got Yugi versus Joey, you know, which I basically skipped through for this, you know, for the purposes of Yami Yugi being like, no, I'm going to win. So I do have regrets. I have a few, but the gimmick of the episode, I remember having fun doing it. I remember being like, oh, what if it was a TV show you were watching? Because it's kind of a callback to episode 2, where they mentioned the card game channel. Mythic Suns, what are your thoughts on Okami? The game? I don't think I've played it. Very beautiful. Art style is beautiful. All right, let's get going here. Let's jump into the video here. And let me know if it's too loud or too quiet. Oh, that's too loud. We're going to turn it down a little bit.
Last time on Yu-Gi-Oh!
Hang on. First of all, I've got to acknowledge that's an actual clip from Yu-Gi-Oh! And I think I chose that one specifically because it's not him saying previously on Yu-Gi-Oh! He's saying last time on Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is a weird one. It's weird to hear him say that because it's usually classically previously on Yu-Gi-Oh! And a lot of this live action footage here is from the music video, the Talking Heads music video, Love for Sale. And I think that's where I kind of sort of got the idea of channel flipping, because it starts off with a bunch of this.
Black & Decker's automatic shut-off iron. Because even those with the best memories can forget to turn their irons off.
You dumb elephant.
In America.
That's Alan Partridge. One of the first videos I ever made, if not the first video I ever put on YouTube, was a clip from that show, I'm Alan Partridge. And there I found him saying in America very intentionally to put it in there. But that's Steve Coogan. If you don't know Alan Partridge, you should check out his sitcoms. Some of them are classic television.
I was so impressed, I bought the company.
Space Ghost!
You're watching the Card Game Channel, where we bring you all the hottest dueling action from across the globe. Tonight, we're bringing you live coverage of the Duelist Kingdom semifinals.
Why would the Card Game Channel have the Millennium Puzzle as its logo? I got to call bullshit on that, Martin Billany of 2006. You should have had like a dual disc or something. That would have made more sense. Not as much sense as like something that would make sense, but still more sense than the Millennium Puzzle.
I can barely contain my excitement. Who will be the next king of games? We'll find out right after this commercial. Don't you go anywhere now.
Oh, we got
Have
commercials?
you been injured in an accident during a
Oh,
card
shit.
game that wasn't your fault?
Is that the first time Marek appears, aside from like the end bumpers?
Suffered damages at the hands of your opponent? Do you like to blame other people for your clumsiness? If so, give us a call at 1-800-DUEL-INSURANCE.
Just footage of Bakura dying.
And we'll fix the problem by throwing lots of money around.
I want that spider gun that Weevil has. It looks gross as hell.
Duel insurance, because nothing heals pain quite like money.
We're back, and the Duelist Kingdom semifinals are already underway. It looks like Yugi Moto is struggling to defeat My Valentine.
Just lots of licensed music playing the whole time, you know. No issues with that.
And who can blame him? My Valentine is a seasoned competitor with a long list of victories.
I like her seasoning.
Let's take a look at her dueling history. First, she faced Joey Wheeler.
That's right.
And lost.
No, but Bumblebee guy. You forgot about Bumblebee guy. She won.
Then she went up against Panic. And lost. Her last match before entering the finals was against Taya Gardner, which of course she must have won. Oh, my mistake. She surrendered.
I feel bad because it's true. She does lose a lot on screen. But I love Mai, and she obviously has an aura of a winner. But the evidence is stacking up. The evidence is almost as stacked as she is.
I think I speak for everyone when I ask, what's wrong with this picture?
Did she beat Rex? Oh, I guess she did, yeah. She beat him to have his little yacht room, didn't she? Yeah, I guess that technically happened, but it wasn't an official duel, so it wasn't an official win.
I summon Harpy's pet dragon.
You wanna play rough? No. Okay. Say hello to my little friend. This could be a critical misjudgment on
It's
the part of the young
me.
up-and-comer with the ridiculous hairdo.
I had to include Karibo appearing in front of My Valentine.
Mai's dragon could destroy that Karibo with ease.
Look at him, he's vicious. Gotta get a collar for that guy.
I wonder what her next move will be.
I surrender.
I don't remember why she surrenders in the original duel anymore. Do you guys? It is funny to think that she was so intimidated by a giant hairy ball with features that she gave up. But why did she give up? I forget. What was the deal? I thought she got some of his star chips as well. I don't think that she would at this point. Nobody, her dragon got decked. She surrendered to maintain her losing streak. Blackluster Soldier. She quit because of Blackluster Soldier? She was just intimidated by Blackluster Soldier. She knew she couldn't compete with Grandpa for his forbidden love.
Yeah, that My Valentine. She's a great duelist, all right. We take you now to a pre-recorded interview with one of the top players in the Duelist Kingdom tournament, Mako Tsunami.
Oh, shit.
Mr. Tsunami, is there any truth to the rumor that Yugi Moto refused to duel with you because you're a freaky fish guy?
I am not a freaky fish guy. And for your information, I fed his dark magician to my fiend Kraken.
Fiend Kraken!
It was just like the ending to Pirates of the Caribbean
Caribbean.
2, except this was actually satisfying.
Oh, huge slam on, in retrospect, one of the better Pirates movies.
In that case, why is he entered into the finals while you're out here on the beach talking to yourself?
I'm not talking to myself. I'm talking to the ocean.
Oh, okay.
The ocean and I are getting married. Isn't that right, Ocean? The ocean says yes.
I like that the ocean got a little Chiron as well. That's great. I don't remember a lot of these gags. This is one of the episodes I intentionally did not watch much, so this is all basically new to me. It's weird.
We're back to live action, and Bandit Keith's barrel dragon is causing Joey Wheeler big problems.
Everybody's got their own dragon. Have you noticed? You got Harpy's pet dragon, you got Barrel Dragon, you got Red Eyes Black Dragon, you got Blue Eyes White Dragon, and you got Cursive Dragon, which is probably the lamest one. Sorry, Yugi.
I summon Copycat. It gives me the power to copy your catchphrase. In America.
Hey,
All right.
That's my joke. It only works when I say in America. It loses all meaning when you say it.
Whoa, whoa, hang on. I kind of had good lip sync there.
Hey, that's my joke. It only works when I say in America. It loses all meaning when you say it.
How did I do that? Was that just good editing on my part that I somehow pulled off? It don't look good, but it was great compared to what else I was doing. Yeah. I do remember intentionally choosing this shot and being like, he has to lean in and go, yeah.
What's that? I couldn't hear you. I was too busy being American.
You're not American.
Good God.
You're not even wearing a flag on your head.
Honestly, I did not know what peaking was. I didn't know how microphones worked or how audio peaking happened, so I would just scream full on into the microphone sometimes. Not as much as, some folks might have back in the day. I'm just not a loud person generally. But Bandit Keith screaming into that mic, you can hear that shit.
You're right. I must have left it back home. In America.
Uh-oh, it looks like Bandit Keith has snapped, and he's being forced to abandon the duel.
Hooray! Joey won. Lashings of ginger beer for everyone.
Lashings of Ginger Beer for Everyone was, I believe, a reference to the famous 5 novels by Enid Blyton. I don't know if anyone can confirm or deny this, but it was kind of a thing with this. There was this group of kids that would solve mysteries together, and they were called the Famous 5, and they would celebrate a successful investigation by having lashings of ginger beer. So that's his thing. He's referenced in the Famous 5. I guess he kind of would fit in with them.
I'm British, you know. I won't go down without a fight. Pegasus, I pledge allegiance to your death. You sorry excuse for an American.
I learned this trick from watching Excel Saga.
And pause.
In America.
Kind of funny that there's a big hesitation before the last in America. I do think I pledge allegiance to your death is one of Bandit Keith's better lines. I completely blocked out of my brain until watching this one again. But yeah, no, I pledge allegiance to your death is great. That's just a badass line. Good job, Bandit Keith. Gotta give him credit.
And on that note, let's go to a commercial.
If you don't know, in the manga, it's very different. He actually tries to attack Pegasus like behind the scenes, like he waits for him in hiding behind like a pillar or something, and Pegasus, he pulls a gun. Does he pull a gun on Pegasus? I don't think so, does he? He just threatens Pegasus, and then Pegasus uses the Millennium Eye to convince, or rather to make it so that Bandit Keith's hand turns into a gun, and he shoots himself in the head on Pegasus's command. He does pull a gun in the manga, really? Then why did Pegasus need to turn his hand into one? You guys are thinking of the anime, I think. In the anime, he does have a gun in his hand because he pulls it out of one of the security guard's pockets. So he aims a gun at Pegasus and then he gets dropped in the ocean. In the manga, it's very messed up and it's very disturbing. It was a knife in the manga. Thank you, Janky. I knew that he had something, but Pegasus had to one-up it and make his hand a gun. You've heard of finger guns. Well, yeah.
Next week on a very special episode of Zork and Pals
while we play some Final Fantasy music.
Zork, what's wrong? Why haven't you destroyed the world?
Because I have a terminal disease.
But you can't die. What about our adopted daughter? Who's going to take care of her when you're gone?
She also has a terminal disease.
Don't miss this very special award-winning episode of Zork and Pals.
Award-winning?
Because we really need the ratings.
If you're award-winning, why do you need the ratings? Okay, sure. Was that Kingdom Hearts? My bad. They all get mixed up in my head. That was Kingdom Hearts? Bloody hell. I'm not going to say they're the same thing, because then we're going to get into a whole bloody debate. They're not the same thing.
You're watching the Card Game Channel. We show card games, and that's about it. This
I don't know, you've been showing a lot of other stuff.
match will decide everything. One of these men will return home with either $3 million in prize money, or the prestige of being the new king of card games. But
Or
no
both.
matter who wins this duel, in the end, they're both losers. I mean winners. Yeah, winners.
This is it, Yug. Only one of us can win this tournament. And even though you're my best friend, I'm not gonna hold back.
I honestly thought that I had a better grasp on the voices at this point in the show, but I guess I still was kind of, from my perspective, it sounds like I'm still struggling with Joey's voice.
I'm gonna do that, Yug.
I'm gonna give it my all. And what's more, I'm gonna beat you.
Like hell.
Me?
Face it, Joey, you're a terrible duelist. You only got this far because I've been telling you how to win all the time.
See, this is stuff that I probably would have done a little bit differently if I'd had the opportunity to flesh this duel out, because I don't like that Yami's just like, fuck you, no. You're bad. That's not cool. Yami, come on. You've been very encouraging for the most part up until now.
I mean, come on. You've got Baby Dragon in your deck. Baby freaking Dragon.
Look at them muscles, though, on the baby dragon.
You probably don't even remember why you entered the tournament in the first place.
Sure I do. I entered because...
Your sister.
You told me to?
It was your sister, you silly little man.
So you could really hear the English accent coming. Your sister, you silly little man. Look at him folding his arms. Grumpy man.
She needs an operation.
Why, is she sick?
No, but you will be.
She
Mind
is sick.
Crush.
Yeah.
And now for a word from our sponsors.
See, that whole thing could have been more. That whole stuff with Yugi and Joey, like, there was so much opportunity to pay off various, running jokes about characters that I could have established and, done something else with the fact that, Joey needs the money for the surgery and he ultimately gets the money. I feel like there was more I could have done. And I gave myself maybe 1 minute.
Your own personal deck.
Oh, Buckaroo Banzai.
$10. A brand spanking new dual disc system. $30. Bribing the school bully so he won't beat you up for playing card games. $50.
Why?
Activating Swords of Revealing Light so your opponent is unable to attack your life points directly, leaving him wide open for a frontal assault on all his monsters. Priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's Kaiba Corp.
I was like, that sounds like Kaiba doing narration, and then I realized, oh, that is the joke. Did Kaiba ever use Swords of Revealing Light? I don't think he would have endorsed that card. Says Straw Hat, you could have done a bit about how they don't even need to do it because they want two different things, and no matter who wins, they both win. Yeah, there was all kinds of things I could have called out. Honestly, I don't even know if I could have, I don't even know if I would have had the wherewithal to make that joke. Because I don't think I would have clocked that that's how it worked.
We now return to our live feed from the Duelist Kingdom, and it looks as though the finalists have something to say to each other.
Hey, Yug,
Oh, here it
since
is.
I lost the match, it's only right that you get the prize money. No, Joey, you take it.
I don't want that
How else
shit.
are you going to afford professional therapy after suffering such a humiliating defeat at my hands?
Good God. What? Okay. Yeah, sure. I mean...
This is the happiest moment of my life.
I don't know which is meaner, Yami Yugi telling Joey that he just sucks at card games, or Yugi being like, you need therapy because of how bad you suck at card games.
If only my sister were alive to see me now.
He's so small.
The semifinals are over, but the final round of the tournament is just around the corner. Don't touch that remote. We'll be right back
gonna
with
touch
more
the
card
remote.
game action right after this
The-
commercial.
There it is. My Valentine, worst duelist ever. I don't know. I feel like there's worse. I feel like first of all, Tristan exists. Technically a duelist. Ah, the Hypnomaric. There's 30 seconds extra of the
Do
Oh,
you, Mako Tsunami, take the ocean to be your lawfully wedded wife, till death do you part? I do! And do you, Ocean, take Mako Tsunami to be your lawfully wedded husband?
I want to call out, there's a lot of fun uses of music in this one. I have to, in retrospect, give myself a credit. I now, not that I could claim to have composed any of those songs, but it was a fun use of various pieces of music.
Till death do you part.
Oh, it's depressing. The ocean is a runaway bride.
The ocean says yes.
I suppose so. That's funny. Oh, hang on. What? I was obsessed with just grabbing clips from the Japanese footage, I suppose. Based on that last episode and this. Forgive me while I get it back in actual resolution that we can see. All right. So that was episode 17. Not nearly as bad as I remember, because it was a bit fun with the creativity involved of having all the different clips and everything. It held up better than I was expecting it would. I actually did get a kick out of a bunch of those commercials. I forgot about the commercials. I remember showing all the little brief clips of the duels and being like, this is what's happening, and now this is what's happening. But the commercials were a really fun little way of stretching my legs a little bit, because mostly I was just sort of like, how do I abbreviate the narrative? And here I was like, what if I just interspersed the narrative with some fun little ideas of jokes? That was fun, ultimately. Like, I don't think that was a bad episode. It was just, I wouldn't have done it that way these days, ultimately, you know? That's what I would say. And I do think I learned a lot from that episode. I think I learned for starters, there were some neat visual and audio edits involved that I just don't think I was playing around with until this one. And it also allowed me to jump essentially right to the Pegasus duel, which I do think was a beneficial thing at the time. I think that was a positive that I did just get to Pegasus, because I think by now, I'm going to be honest, at the time when I made the choice to abbreviate those duels, I think it was the right call, because I don't think I had the skills or the patience to make those duels work as full episodes themselves, but I did want to get to the final main event, you know? Yeah, no, Beaky, you're right. I feel like I could see myself getting a bit more confident in my editing there. That's one thing that people often comment on when they're watching the series from start to finish, which is you can see yourself improving as an editor, and it's kind of coming through at this point for me as well. All right, let's read a few super chats real quick. Let me read I'm going to try and get through them as quickly as possible. I do apologize. I know some people are like, I don't like you reading the super chats, but I'm going to do it. You'll have to forgive me. Monkey Mafioso, thank you for the super chat. I downloaded the episodes on iTunes and watched them on the school bus in middle school. I'm 31 now. We're still here. Got me through breaks at work. Wow, I'm really grateful. First of all, it's always funny when I hear that people downloaded it on iTunes, because I never had anything like that myself, and that was always kind of something that felt like, oh, those episodes are on iTunes. I don't even know if I knew that. But yeah, no, it seemed to be a popular way of enjoying the show when people were like going to school and stuff, sharing it with their friends on there probably. Slop Apocalypse, thank you for the super chat. Playing Witcher 3 while listening to the stream. All right, well, take good care of Roach, okay? Don't let Roach get hurt. And if you haven't chosen a partner in the game yet, I request that you pick Triss, because I prefer Triss. I'm one of those weird people who prefers Triss. Brady Wells, thank you for the super chat. When you finish reading the super chat, you'll have forgotten that you were ever gay. No, I don't think I can forget. But I appreciate your attempt. I appreciate your effort. Irene T, thank you for the super chat. Hello, LK. Will you ever do a music video / extras / BBT movie / not part of the main series stream? I think that's a good idea. I was actually thinking about that as I was out before the stream, and I was like, it would be fun to do a stream where it was like the abridged movie and like a bunch of the side videos with the characters answering comments, because those I haven't watched in so long. In fact, I don't even know if I've watched those since they came out, some of them. The abridged movie I've definitely seen since, but the side videos with the characters being like, oh, let me read the comments, that's something that has, you know, definitely slipped my mind since. Would like to do that, yeah. Sunshine Daydream, thank you for the super chat. Screw the rules, I have little Karibo cheering me up with Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged for 20 years now. Heart, thank you for the laughs. My life would not be the same without your creations. Sunshine Daydream, thank you for bringing sunshine into the stream. I do appreciate it. Jake F3995 in the chat says, when we get to it, I'd love to hear about your beef with George Lucas. Do I have a beef with George Lucas? Are we talking about the Naruto spoof? Hal Embers, I appreciate you checking in. I'm doing better than I was back in the day, certainly, but you know, I'm still plugging away with my videos. A new one will be coming out soon. My health is not stopping me from making content, period. It just is sometimes not great, but I appreciate you checking in. Luminia, thank you for the super chat. Hi, Martin. Been on the abridged bridge since 2011 or so. Oh, wow. Thank you for all the vocal comedy, as I am blind. Thank you for the inclusivity. Oh, no, absolutely. I'm glad that you're able to enjoy the videos, and thank you so much for being here in 2026, 15 years later, still supporting and enjoying. You're very kind. And I hope that you're doing well. I actually am very honored to, speaking of George Lucas, provide the audio description for the visually impaired for the Star Wars films, starting with Episode 7, The Force Awakens. If you go on your Disney Plus app or on your Blu-rays, you can actually listen to me narrate the movies, kind of, on one of those audio tracks for the visually impaired. I'm very honored to get to do that. But thank you so much, Luminia. Brit Yuzuki in Nishinari, thank you for the super chat. This is the card game playing lawyer. Okay. Yeah. Objection. Swords of Revealing Light. Saint Sentry, thank you for the super chat. On top of music, abridging also got me into voice acting. A goal of mine is to voice act alongside you someday. A Sentry can dream, right? Absolutely. No, don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. I hope that that does transpire. Fingers crossed. Slender, thank you for the super chat. If you feel bad about skipping over some parts of your show, you should release Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, Unabridged series. Ah, that's... I was kind of talking about that before, yeah. I was kind of talking about that last stream. And Demo, thank you for the super chat. With her strongest monster destroyed, Mai chooses to surrender rather than see the rest of her harpy monsters destroyed as well. From Mai's Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki page. That's a weird reason to quit. That's a weird reason to surrender, right? I don't know why Mai had to do that, but thank you, Ant Demo, for bringing us the answer there. That seems bizarre that she would do that. But, you know, if she cares about her monsters that much... Is there a cat climbing on things back there? Oh, sorry. Reload Sai, thank you for the super chat. Mentioned this app in college essay, got top marks. The card game channel? That's funny. Well, congrats on the high grade. Congrats on using your forbidden knowledge wisely. Desmond Malone in the chat says, are you going to abridge Dark Side of Dimensions? Yes. I would like it to be the finale of the show. Solar Regis, thank you for the super chat. Rewatching Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, I realized that there is Kaiba brand milk. That's right. Thank you for making me aware of this. Yes. Milked fresh from Kaiba himself. He hooks himself up to a machine. And he produces... I don't know what I'm saying. Directly from my nipples. Wex Don, thank you for the super chat. Hey, LK, last time you mentioned watching Pokemon years ago. Have you kept up with it or the games at all? No. And who are some of your favorite Pokemon? My favorite Pokemon? You're going to be disappointed, but it's the Karibo of Pokemon. It's Magikarp. Useless, but cute. And it turns into Gyarados, but I don't like it when it turns into Gyarados. Magikarp is the best. I love Magikarp. I love Meowth just because of the anime mostly. I don't really play the games that much. I did play some of the games, but I'm not really good at Pokemon. In fact, when I first started talking to my spouse Marion about Pokemon, it became very clear very quickly that I didn't know how the elements worked. I was like, wait, electricity is strong against water? Surely water should be strong against electricity. Or something like that. I didn't understand how it worked. I still don't. But yeah, Magikarp for the win. There's an alternate universe where I'm Little Magikarp. Aqua Breeze, thank you for the super chat. I pledge allegiance to your death, me, when it happens. Oh, I get it. WC Wit, thank you for the super chat. I'd say Curse of Dragon is Yami's dragon, but Gandora is Yugi's, and Gandora is the much cooler dragon. We don't get to see it much, though, do we? Get a gander at Gandora. We just don't get to. Tailing Star, thank you for the super chat. LK, I was wanted to ask, years ago you took part in an abridged of Digimon called Abridgimon. Why did it only get a single episode, or was it always intended to be a one-off? This is a way longer story that is potentially... It would take me a long time to go into this, so I'm going to give you a really, really quick version of this. It wasn't my idea. I'm going to be very honest. The Abridgimon concept kit was come up with by Shady Vox. He wanted to be the Team 4-star of Digimon. That was the original plan. We were all having dinner together when he brought it up, and it was me, Masako X the Dark One, and me, me twice, Shady, and we went back to our apartment where we were staying, and we wrote the first episode really quickly, and we debuted that video at a convention a few months later, and if I'm being entirely honest, I didn't think it was very good. I didn't really vocalize that. I was just happy to do whatever with my friends. And then, yeah, it didn't really catch on. And So it just sort of stopped. There was no motivation to keep going. Is basically what happened. But yeah, it was not intended to be a one-off, but that's what ended up happening. Monster King 97, thank you for the super chat. I hope Mako and the ocean like my wedding gift. I'm sure they'll love it. I hope you don't mind it getting a bit wet. Mystic Minds Analysis Tav. I'm sorry, I can't read your full name. Mystic, thank you for the super chat. Fun fact, because I'm hard of hearing and don't know mage is short for magician, I thought Yugi's card in the final duel was Dark Jester Mange. Well, you never know, they might be a bit mangy. All right, I am going to read a few more super chats here. I'm sorry for how long it takes me to get through them. I'm going to do my best to get through them quickly, and then we're going to watch episode 18, which is the duel between Yami, Yugi, and Pegasus, aka blah blah card games blah. Bluecus9, thank you for the super chat. Which two characters would you have duel in the original show that had never had an on-screen duel, and how would you parody it? Gosh, that's a big question. P.S. Greetings from Brazil. We have the best butts. You should visit. I would love to get up in that. What? I would love to get up in Brazil. Which two characters would you have duel in the original show that never had an on-screen duel? I'd love... I'm trying to think of... I'd love Bandit Keith to duel... I'm trying to think. You have to forgive me. Bloody hell. Again, this is a big question. I'm trying to do these answers real quick. I genuinely don't know. You'll have to forgive me. I guess I would have Bandit Keith duel Marek. I think that just because it would be two characters that I enjoy voicing and writing for. I don't know how I would parody it. I really don't. I'm sorry. I wish I could go deeper into that for you. But thank you for the super chat from Brazil. And please do protect those beautiful butts that you have over there. Broken VHS, thank you for the super chat. I don't want to waste too much time. I've been watching you since I was a kid. I'm nearly 30 and I still come back to it. Please be doing well. Thank you, Broken VHS. I hope that you can be a fixed VHS soon. Bandit Keith and Kaiba, that could be fun, actually. You've got America versus the ultimate capitalist. Bit more Dave. My gosh, thank you for the super chat. Hey, LK, would you like me to edit a compendium of these streams? LK reacts to every episode of YGO Abridged. My IRL job as a filmmaker, by the way. Happy to do it free of charge. You're very kind to offer. I might reach out to you separately from this live stream here, but I also wouldn't mind doing the edit myself. But yeah, no, I'll keep you in mind. I do appreciate you offering. Stream, thank you so much for the super chat. Congrats. Is the line "son of a bitch" a reference to something? And is Turkey Legs from Ninja Bridge a reference to something or someone? Very quickly, yes, "son of a bitch" is an audio clip from the original Naruto Abridged movie by Vegeta3986 and Masako X, which was edited by Vegeta3986's girlfriend, and she ended up voicing a character that didn't have a voice, called the off-screen, well, not called the off-screen bartender, but they were a bartender that was off-screen and therefore was dubbed the off-screen bartender. But I think it's an extremely funny performance, so I've used that clip here and there as a gag, but I just think that's a really funny audio clip. And obviously it references a character being frustrated with not being able to clean a glass properly. Son of a bitch! And Turkey Legs, I'm going to be entirely honest, Turkey Legs is a reference to a gentleman called Chicken Wings, Kevin Hicks, a very good fellow, a very nice fellow. And the Turkey Legs character was parodying his hosting of the Abridged Community Awards, which at the time I was like, I can dunk on anyone and anything and it won't matter. Frankly, I think I went a little too hard on him there. I think that I could have been less... I mean, I didn't have to make a whole parody character based on that guy. So but here's the thing, and I'm not saying this to be defensive of my choice to do that, but everything in Naruto Spoof was a parody of somebody in the Abridged community. So it was one of those things where eventually I got around to pretty much everybody I could think of. I do regret making a joke about him, though, because I think that ultimately it was a bit below the belt to make fun of him for... putting something together that, just because from my perspective, I was like, oh, the Abridged community, okay, I guess that's your thing. That was kind of the perspective I had. But no, I was out of line, and I wouldn't do that these days. In fact, I've told him specifically I'm not going to bring that character back. So that's the deal there. I was making fun of a good guy, which ultimately I regret. Tux B, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Are there any plans to do a watch along of the Ninja Bridge material? You know, I'm not going to say no. I'm never going to say never. I do enjoy the Naruto spoof more than my Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged because I wrote the Naruto spoof to make me laugh. But, you know, again, there's probably stuff in those videos where I'm going to be apologizing. I just did it, you know. I just kind of was like, nah, that wasn't cool. Aiden X Machina, thank you so much for the super chat. QMTO, thank you for the super chat. What's your conspiracy theory on the drop in animation quality in the last few seasons? Studio execs being cheap, burnt out animators, kids won't notice that hardly any movement is happening? I don't really have a conspiracy theory because I think that it's just a budget thing, right? I think that season 5, they've been pushing it, you know, they just didn't have the money to accomplish what they were seeking out to do. I don't know exactly how it works, but that was my understanding, is they just didn't have the they just didn't have the funds or the resources or something. Maybe I didn't really think too hard about it. Uchiha Sakura, thank you for the super chat. I remember watching the Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged with my fiance. Sadly, he passed away when our son was 4 years old. Your video brings me good memories. Well, I'm glad they bring you good memories, Uchiha. I'm sorry to hear that about your partner. I hope that you can still enjoy those positive memories. I really do appreciate your kindness. Thank you for sharing. A few more super chats. I do apologize. And if anyone knows the real reason about the animation quality dropping in season 5 of Yu-Gi-Oh, feel free to share. I personally don't know the exact reason. I just assumed it was a budget thing, because it seems to happen to lots of other shows. Nine Arachna, thank you for the super chat. Mine is also Magikarp, flails and struggles through life, just like me. I never evolved them, just end up leveling them to 100. That's right, that's how you do it. High five. That's Magikarp, baby. Shiruvi, if I recall correctly, one of the lead animators on the team animated the OP for the final season as his final contribution, but wasn't available / couldn't come back after Waking the Dragons. I mean, that's possible, but that wouldn't explain why all the animation is bad, would it? Zachary Hauser, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I do appreciate it. Fruity Groovy, thank you for the super chat. By the way, the Yugi versus Joey duel just doesn't happen in the manga. That's right. Joey surrenders to let Yugi get to Pegasus also proves Yugi didn't give Joey Time Wizard to cheat. Right. And CJ, thank you for informing us. CJD Guy, thank you for the super chat. As a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, I declare 2006 Martin as valid. You know what? Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you somebody for coming to 2006 Martin's defense. I've said so much disparaging stuff about him. It's good that somebody's got his back. Just Ellie86, thank you for the super chat. Happy anniversary. Here's to 20 years of enjoying Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged goodness. Also love to Marin for getting me into Heaven Official's blessing. Oh, heck yeah. Big hug. And CXX Ninja Girl CXX, thank you for the super chat. Hey, I wanted to tell you a little Kuribo. I have ulcerative colitis too. If you need someone to talk to or game with, I'm here. Ninja, thank you so much for that. That's very kind. It's not fun, is it? I know a few people who have similar conditions, if not the same condition, and, you know, we're often commiserating about it. But thank you for offering. I don't do a lot of gaming lately, but I might do some complaining. All right. Thank you for all the super chats, folks. I'm going to put a stop on them right there for now. And let's jump into episode 18, which is a big one. It's not just because it's a monumental plot point, because it's Pegasus versus Yami Yugi, the final duel of Duelist Kingdom. But it is also a 9 minutes and 53 seconds episode, which is kind of mind-blowing for the time, because I must have been inching up on the hard limit on YouTube video length. You can fart if you want to. You can fart your friends behind, because if you fart, and fart, you fart. You can fart. That's right, Shade 45. Naruto spoof. Gotta get some in there. Turn Around Bright Eyes is the name of the episode, and the reason for that is because I think that I play the song Bright Eyes when it seems like Yugi is going to die, and Yami Yugi is concerned about him, and it just shows a bunch of clips of them, and it plays Bright Eyes, burning like fire, which, you know, probably will get the video flagged. But I always cry when I hear that song, and I wanted to make people cry a little bit if that song had that effect on other people. But that's why the episode's called Turn Around Bright Eyes, which ironically would come back in the form of Total Eclipse of the Heart in a later episode where I was also trying to be emotional with Joey versus Yugi. Anyway, let's go. I used to play Street Fighter 2 all the time on my Super Nintendo, so that sound of the Capcom logo is ingrained in my soul. I never was good at Street Fighter, just for the record, but I loved playing it.
My grandpa's deck has served me well, but if I'm going to beat Pegasus,
Yes.
I'm going to have to
This
remember
is fucking
everything
funny.
Gramps ever taught me about card games.
This is funny.
Playing card games is just like making love. You usually do it on a table.
He's so
and you
confused.
always feel deep shame when it's finished.
I remember agonizing over that joke, not because I couldn't think of how to do it, but because I thought of so many ways that card games were like having sex. There's usually a one-on-one situation with lots of people surrounding you, cheering you on, saying you can do it. Sometimes somebody activates Swords of Revealing Light and you have to stand there being like, okay, what do I do with this now?
Also, the older you get, the less fun it is. So remember, always wear a condom when playing card games.
I hope you all do that.
I should probably wash my hands before using these.
No, you should probably wash your hands after using these. You fucked up the line, Martin, of 2006. I know that somebody came to your defense a minute ago, but you fucked up the very important line there. You don't wash your hands before touching the gross thing. You wash your hands after.
Rammstein!
Fuck yeah! I got so excited. Like I mentioned in last stream, I think, I considered having the intro have different clips of different songs that I liked so that people would get an idea of what my sort of, like, my own music collection was like. But I fucking love Rammstein!
The final round of the Duelist Kingdom tournament shall now commence. Will Yugi Moto please enter the duel arena?
Oh, that's right. Hurrah! Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best. Hurrah! We've gone from the episode before with all the songs being used to this episode where there's multiple songs within the first minute.
I'm bored.
Hush, Tristan. This crappy tournament will be over soon.
Hey, Joey, let's ditch Tristan and Bakura.
Yeah, okay. I can't believe they just ditched us like that. I mean, you'd have to be a total jerk to walk out on someone when, hey, where are you going?
I'm ditching you too, because you smell. Bye.
Run while you can, mortal. Soon I will rule the world. And then we'll see who smells.
It will be you.
It'll be you.
It's true, he does. Michael Linden, hey, look, I just want to pop in the chat. Thank you so much for all your amazing work over the past 20 years. I started watching years back in high school with Final Destination. Well, thank you, Michael.
And now, introducing the creator of card games.
I did spend some time thinking about what I wanted Pegasus's entrance music to be, because in case you can't tell, this is the wrestling fan in me coming out, especially specifically with this bit, because them coming out and walking to their duel terminals, I wanted it to feel like a wrestler coming out to the ring. And this song in particular is Andy Kaufman's wrestling entrance theme.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you Mr. Maximilian Pegasus. Excellent. Soon my evil plan to steal an object from a small child will be complete.
You mean you arranged this whole tournament just to steal my Millennium Puzzle?
Exactly.
Did you even consider just asking me for it?
See, I would argue that if Pegasus showed up at Yugi's house, which would be weird, but if he did, and he knocked on the door and he said, hey, Yugi, my wife is dead, I could use your puzzle to transfer her soul into a new body, Yugi would be like, that's weird, but okay. Because he's Yugi. So absolutely, Yami Yugi's right here, in my opinion. He could have just asked, and it would have worked. Could have avoided all of this.
I mean, do you have any idea how much time and money you've wasted with this whole facade? People have died because you wanted a necklace.
People have died. Who died? I would argue that you've killed more people than Pegasus has, Yami Yugi.
I killed a gay clown for Ra's sake.
Sorry. I do love that occasionally he remembers that he murdered that gay clown.
Look, are you going to play a children's card game with me or not? I suppose I might as
Fine.
well.
This heavy suit of armor is perfect for sneaking around.
Did I hear something just now?
That's the wind, bro.
Nah, must have been the wind.
Like I said, it's the wind.
Yeah, that's definitely the sound that wind makes.
My voice gives me super strength, but it also helps that I'm wearing a suit of armor.
Okay, I gotta give myself credit. 2006, Martin. Well done. The variations on the catchphrases are pretty good. I personally, I get a lot of flack justifiably for relying on catchphrases too much. But back then, when I was using them a lot, they tended to have fun variations, and I think that's a fun variation on my voice. Because I was watching that just now, and I was like, what, he's going to say my voice gives me super strength again? Oh, he's talking about the armor. That's funny.
Hey, it's Mokuba. If I rescue him, then I'll be a hero, and Joey's bootylicious sister will be all over me. Score.
That Mokuba shot was kind of scary. He was looking like he was going through it. But yeah, that armor bit... I get every so often someone comes up and says that's their favorite joke from the whole series is Tristan sneaking around in the suit of armor and the guy being like, it's clearly just the wind. Just because that is what would happen. He sneaks up on that guy wearing a suit of armor. How is he not clangety-clanging?
Yes, what is it? There's been a breach. Mokuba Kaiba has escaped.
See, remember when I said that Croquet was the one that the Millennium Ring was actually pointing to? And first of all, I completely forgot that this guy fucking existed in any shape or form. Who is Mr. Visor Man? Who is this cool suit sci-fi futuristic Visor Man? This is like the equivalent of Kaiba's like multicolored hair girls that he has. Pegasus just has a bunch of suit guys with visors. But do you remember when I said Croquet was the one that the Millennium Ring was pointing at? This is meant to be Croquet's boyfriend. This is what was going on in my head. I was like, well, this is why the Millennium Ring pointed at the castle. Is it 2007, Martin? Common Cool Cat, thanks for pointing out that we've gotten into 2007 at this point. That's wild. It's taken 6 months to get to this.
I thought I told you never to call me at this number.
But I miss you. It feels like we've grown so far apart.
That's because I don't love you anymore. Sounds like Tristan found Mokuba.
It sounds like there's some tea over there that I would like to take a drink of.
I think I'll pay him a little visit.
You know what? Of all the voices that I think I nailed out of the gate, Tristan, obviously, because it's a goofy one, but Bakura, and I probably have a bit of an advantage because I'm English, but Bakura, I think, has always kind of sounded good in the abridged Yu-Gi-Oh thing. I think in my show, that Bakura has always kind of sounded like Bakura. And that's a cool thing. I'm very proud of it.
Where do you think you're going, limey boy? I have to go do British things. like drink cups of tea and eat bangers and mash.
Because
sort
I'm
of thing.
British.
Because I'm British. Oh, okay. Look, I think
Ah, yeah, you're doing that stuff. I get it.
something exciting is happening.
Blah blah.
Card games, blah.
Blah blah blah. Attack mode, blah.
Blah, blah.
Blah.
Oops, my mistake.
That basically, I didn't have to make any more Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged after that. That was the whole thing. That was the whole show summarized in 10 seconds. Something's happening. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Blah. No, it's not. Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged.
We've got you surrounded. Now give the boy to us.
Over Mokuba's dead body.
Lay one finger on the boy and you mortals will rue the day you were ever born.
Finger the
Bakura,
boy.
don't be a hero. They have invisible guns.
And we're not afraid to use them.
Why do they have guns on this teenage boy? Like, why is there always guns there? I guess that it's meant to be a big threat that Bakura then dispatches, but...
Well, I have something far more powerful than invisible guns. There's no such thing. Why don't you see for yourself then? Well, what do you know? He was right.
Even if it was a not invisible gun, why would you hear something more powerful than guns? There's no such thing. Nothing is more powerful than a gun.
Now I just feel silly.
Bakura, I had no idea you were Spider-Man.
That's because I'm not. Now follow me. We have to get out of here.
You mean you're not Spider-Man?
No, I'm not.
It's very funny that Tristan's looking at him with such, like, this face is just frustration and panic in the original episode, but here, because we know Tristan via the Abridged series, it reads more as, you have to tell me that you're Spider-Man. Say psych right now.
Okay, yes, I'm Spider-Man. Happy? Now will you just follow me?
Hooray! I'm friends with Spider-Man!
Introducing the fabulous Toon-summoned skull.
It's funny because I have a very vivid memory of posting like episode 4 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged and making a live journal post about it saying, I thought about using this song when Pegasus first appeared, but that would be too obvious and just sort of like, lol, he's gay. And then I got to episode 18 and I used this song and it's obvious because it's lol, he's gay. What a fucking nightmarish summoned skull, though. You know, I mean, slay, but...
It's like something out of H.P. Lovecraft. Only gay.
Is he strong? Listen, bud.
I'm sorry, I'm just going to start quoting the show now. This is going to become a problem because I'm starting to remember things.
He's got radioactive blood. Look out. There goes the Spider-Man.
Oh, stop it.
Bacora's very frustrated that Tristan thinks he's Spider-Man. Just roll with it, Bacora. I wish people thought I was Spider-Man.
You can't possibly win, Yugi boy. With my Millennium Eye, I can see into the very recesses of your mind.
Recesses of your mind sound nasty. Gotta clean those.
Showing me every card in your deck.
He's right. We can't win like this. Our only hope is to switch minds.
This is interesting. This shot, I think this is the first time we've been given an idea in the abridged version, I think, that Yugi and Yami have like a physical place where they can interact, and I've not really established it, and I think this might even be the first time it's introduced in the main show, but I just sort of throw you in here. Like, there's no introduction of this idea. It's just like, oh, now they're talking.
That way he won't be able to predict our strategy.
Couldn't I just mind crush him?
You can't fix all your problems by mind crushing people.
Oh, come on. Just one little mind crush. It'll barely hurt him.
No, bad Pharaoh. No mind crush.
You never let me have my way, do you? And now I'm going to take this duel to the Shadow Realm. See? This wouldn't be happening if I had just mind crushed him.
Listen, mister, do you need a timeout?
Yeah, that's it. I'm not going to say that's a good point, because I don't think mind crushing Pegasus would have solved all the problems. But if he can do it, consider using that.
Hand over the boy, Tristan, or I'll swallow your soul.
Look out, Flying Mokuba!
Ever since Yugi defeated me in a duel, I've been looking for a new body. One without a soul. Mokubas should do just fine.
Now, what is not included in this version of the episode is that right before this, Bakura basically murders a couple of guys using Manita Bug, which I think is the most damage Manita Bug has done in an episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is murder some guys.
But why?
Because I'm evil.
But why?
I don't know, I'm just evil. What do you expect?
It's just plain dag nasty evil.
But why?
Well, I suppose my parents never loved me enough. They were always dressing me like a girl.
Whoa.
Do you know they wanted to call me Florence? Who names a boy Florence? Idiots, that's who. And I'll tell you another thing.
Look out, Flying Mokuba!
What the deuce?
That's in case you don't know this, I occasionally reference Adult Swim series, and Look Out, Flying Mokuba is, I believe, I want to call myself out a little bit, a reference to C-Lab 2021, where Stormy runs on screen and goes, "Look out, flying dead cat!" and he throws a cat at someone. So I just liked that line, and I wanted to use it somewhere. So look out, Flying Mokuba.
My voice knows Kung Fu.
Yeah, what is it about Florence? Because I remember writing it to be like, oh, he would be ashamed of that name. But for some reason now Florence is, for me, synonymous with Bakura, and it feels right. I'm just like, yeah, if he's not Bakura, because Bakura is Bakura, who's this guy? Oh, he's Florence. Yeah, that makes sense. What?
Oh, bugger.
And now to defeat the evil villain once and for all.
Go,
by
Millennium
throwing him carelessly
Frisbee.
in a random direction. Go, Millennium Frisbee!
No!
Twinkle.
I'm bored again.
I love him being bored immediately after he thinks he's dispatched of one of the main villains of Yu-Gi-Oh! He just wanders off. He's like, I'm bored. It is really weird to me and this is more me just talking about Yu-Gi-Oh than anything. You'll have to forgive me. I'm not doing a lot of insight into this episode of the abridged version. But for me, it's weird that Tristan can throw that Millennium Ring and then Bakura just has it magically again after the Pegasus duel. I know that it's magic. I know that there's magic involved, and there's no way to really say, well, that doesn't make sense, because it is magic. It doesn't have to. But this ain't Linkara. I demand an explanation. I require an explanation, Bakura. How do you do this? Is it a boomerang Millennium Ring? Is it one of them frisbees that comes back?
My nipples are sensing the...
What? What are your nipples sensing?
Yugi is in great peril.
Oh, that makes
Mine
sense.
too.
Hey, guys.
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh so much at my own fucking show.
You'll never guess what I've been doing.
We don't care.
You're mine.
I'm doing it again. Tristan showing up with 2 bodies. And they're like, we don't care about that. That's really funny. This is a great episode. I forgotten that even though I don't really focus on the duel a lot, everything surrounding it is really fucking funny.
Shuffle strategy won't work against me here, Yugi boy. That weak body of yours can't survive in the Shadow Realm.
That mid body of yours.
He's right. I can feel my life force being drained away. It's like I'm watching an Uwe Boll movie.
Oh, fuck. That's relevant right now. I always found it really upsetting watching Yugi suffer in this situation. This is like... I really care about Yugi. I think Yugi's really sweet and really adorable, and it's just hard not to be like... He's very endearing as a character, in my opinion. He's my favorite guy in Yu-Gi-Oh! In the actual show. So watching him suffer like this, really, it's difficult because he's going through it. Like, he's not cut out for this. This is like getting thrown in the deep end when you don't know how to swim. He's really going through it.
Spirit, you have to take over for me. I'm too weak.
Oh, come on, you can take him.
No, really. I think I might
In
be
a duel,
dying
right?
here.
Don't be such a drama queen.
Spirit, tell Taya I love her.
That,
No.
really?
Yugi, you can't be dead.
You can't
If you
love
were
her.
dead, then 4Kids would have censored it. Yugi! Yugi!
That's funny logic that he couldn't be dead because 4Kids wouldn't have shown it. All of these clips from the episodes that haven't happened yet, that will be emotional once we get there. How can the light that burns so
Holy
brightly?
crap! Yeah.
I'm hungry.
I felt
I'm
a
hungry.
disturbance, as if Yugi cried out in terror and was suddenly silenced.
Hey, the Star Wars episode was 3 episodes
Remember
ago.
the friendship pact we made in the first episode?
How could we forget? It took weeks to get that stuff off my hand.
Yugi, wherever you are,
And I'm not talking about the pen, Mark.
we believe in you. Never give up, no matter what happens.
And could you possibly bring me something to eat?
French fried
Maybe
potatoes.
some French fried potatoes.
Poor Pharaoh boy. Without Yugi, your mind is an open book. Now let's see what card you're holding. What in the name of Liberace is happening?
Because Liberace, because gay.
Yugi's friends, they're stopping me.
Taya's really like... she will murder you if you get close to him. This is like that one meme of all the people staring at you with their drinks in their hand like... ugh.
From reading his mind. This is inconceivable, not to mention extremely cheesy.
Pegasus,
Ah!
you'll never understand the importance of friendship. As long as Yugi has us, he'll always have the strength to fight.
I'm just here for the food.
And now I summon Little Karibo Imposters.
Oh man, you know... This joke, a little too meta. I mean, at the time, you know, it made way more sense for me to make this joke because if you don't know... There were lots of different YouTube channels that would upload, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series episode whatever I hadn't released yet. So, like, if this episode was out, somebody would have released episode 19 and called it that, but it would have been made up of, like, random footage. Frequently, it was just the Flintstones video game, and Fred would be jumping up and down and doing nothing else, and it would be, like, 7-8 minutes of that, and people would reply being like, where is the episode? Why did you upload this? And it was really, really frequent. It happened a lot. I got a lot of people being like, why? I can't find the episode because this is happening. Which, you know, I sympathize, but I didn't know what I could do. It's certainly back then I had no real recourse, you know? Like, let people upload whatever they want to upload, I guess. Shade 45. In all fairness, you also released a fake episode around this time too. You're talking about the April Fool's one with the fake finale? Was that an episode? Really? Did I call it? I probably did call it finale or something like that. Anyway, this is why Little Karibo Imposters is a gag here, is because so many bloody fake Little Karibo channels were going up. I also really just love seeing all these Karibos. It's just always great to see them. They're so cute. And it's me. It's great to see representation of my culture, you know?
No, there's so many of them. I can't tell which one is the original.
They're so high.
That means you'll never be able to watch the abridged series ever again.
No.
Why would that defeat him, though, you know? Like, the joke makes sense, but why would it win? Why would it defeat Pegasus?
I can't live without Yu-Gi-Oh! The abridged series.
All right, Martin of 2007, calm down. You don't have to... You get a bit of chip on your shoulder if you're telling people that Pegasus wouldn't live without it.
It's so important to me. Don't worry, Pegasus. There's always Naruto, the abridged series.
What?
But as everyone knows, that's just not quite as good.
Not quite as good.
Oh, no!
The classic, oh no, which is honestly a brilliant performance by Darren Dunstan, just Pegasus in general in the dub. First ever slam on Naruto Abridged in my show, I think. That was the first time I ever called them out.
Yug, you won! I mean, you really...
Back off, he's mine! Yugi, I just have this one thing to say.
He just
Did you ever know that you're my hero?
Yeah, thanks, Taya. Anyway, we should probably go.
He just a minute ago was like, I love Taya in my dying breath. And then she's like, oh, I love you, Yugi. And he's like, yeah, whatever. I like to think that Yugi is just very hormonal to the point that sometimes he's head over heels, needs Taya more than anything. And sometimes he's like, I don't know what a girl is.
You are the wind beneath my wings. Okay, I'm done.
Let's go rescue Grandpa. Hey, how the bloody hell did I get up here? And what in the name of buggery happened to my Millennium Ring?
He's got a bit of sass to him, doesn't he, Rio, in my version here? For some reason, I remember Rio being very like, oh, it's okay, I'm a pushover. But like most of these episodes, he's like, hey, don't talk shit. You'll get hit.
I threw it away because it was evil.
That was a prized family heirloom, you giant wanker.
But it was evil. If Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees got married and had a baby, your ring would be the baby.
Freddy would never marry Jason.
This is how my brain works, by the way. If you've ever wondered what my brain is like on the inside, Tristan's mentioning Jason and Freddy like hooking up in like a completely theoretical, non-real situation, and then Joey being like, that would never happen because it is. Like, that's my brain. I have a stupid idea, and then I'm like, let's explore that and explain how bad your idea is, Martin.
Besides, Freddy's already married. So his job...
Now that Pegasus is weakened by his duel with Yugi, it'll be the perfect opportunity to steal his Millennium Eye. By the way, if you're wondering how I managed to get my ring back, then I'm just as confused as you are.
See, I was confused back then in 2007 as well. That's right. It was confusing then, it confuses me now. Does anyone have an explanation? I don't think so. It's unresolved.
Watch out, Pegasus. Florence is back.
There's a great big hang up. Wherever there's a bang, hang up. Spider-Man. Wait, life is a great big bang up. And whenever there's a hang up, you'll find the Spider-Man. What is a bang up? I'm going to Google what is a bang up. What is a bang up? Because whatever that is, life is that. The phrase bang up means excellent or first rate, but it can also mean to cause physical damage or to lock someone in prison depending on context. Well, the context here is Spider-Man, and life is a great big one of those. So it's either really excellent or everyone is getting thrown in jail, which I think both of those could apply. Wait, you think they said hangout? For real? Spider-Man theme lyrics. I'm looking them up, 1960s. Spider-Man theme song lyrics, here we go. To him, life is a great big bang up. It says in the lyrics, it's a bang up. So, Spider-Man's always banging.
Threaten my people with slavery and death.
This is madness. Madness.
Madness.
Thus as Sparta!
There's no... Oh.
I told you we should have used the visible guns, but no, you had to have the invisible guns because they're magical and ooh.
Yeah, way to kick a guy while he's down, Greg.
Greg?
Maybe if we had an invisible tank.
Oh, shut up. Just shut up.
Poor Greg. Were those the visor guys, or is that somebody else? Oh, we got big video again. Hang on. Yuki, indeed. That was a fun episode, actually. That was really good. That was, if I have to separate myself from my work and look at it objectively, I think that might have been the best episode so far. I think that, you know, there's been some inconsistencies, you know, generally, and there was certainly some in there as well, but that and episode 6, I think, are really strong examples of my early humor, so I would rate that one with some of the best of my my whole series. That was a lot of fun, in my opinion. It was great seeing sort of just like different perspectives of the duel and like just to jump around like I did. I think that was the first time I really kind of balanced the narrative of what was happening and the jokes about what was happening pretty well. And also, it was like almost 10 minutes long. I probably was very proud of myself for being able to make a longer episode in comparison. But yeah, no, that was great. That was fun. I had a great time watching that one. I actually enjoyed both of those episodes, so shut my mouth. I shouldn't expect the worst. I should be surprised by, pleasantly surprised by my own work. Samwise says, and now we get Shardy. Yes, you will get a terrible Borat impression that has, you know, regrettable elements to it. And now, weirdly, there's an Ali G movie coming out. Isn't that weird? You know, you wait long enough and things become relevant again. Super Stitch in the chat says that Spider-Man joke in YGO Abridged is funny in hindsight because later on Kazuki Takahashi would write a Spider-Man and Iron Man manga called Marvel's Secret Reverse. Yes, I have heard of this. In fact, he snuck bloody Joey and Mai into it as well, I believe. Which is cute. It's not great to see Joey and Mai in Spider-Man world, in Marvel. It was fun to see him. All right, I'm going to read some of these super chats real quick, and then we're going to watch. I don't remember how this one holds up. Probably not very well. I'm sure that, you know, there's going to be some jokes where it's like, what was the thought process that went into making Shardy a Borat impression? Well, Borat was out. The movie was out. And I think that it was like, let's go. Let's do that. No regrets. Let's just do an impression of that. I think it was because I couldn't think of anything else to do with Shardy, if I was going to be honest. All right, let me read some of these super chats. You'll have to forget me. No, don't forget me. Forgive me. Tailing Star, thank you for the super chat. Little Karibo. Little Karibo will never understand the torment we feel. The pain of no new Naruto spoof episodes for 11 years. Damn you, Little Karibo. We shall get you back somehow. Gosh. 11-year anniversary of no Naruto spoof. James Salako, thank you for the super chat. Congrats on the 20 years. Both you and the series are incredible. This series has been a safe place to return to over the years, so thank you for that. Oh, I'm glad that you have a safe place to enjoy the humor. That's really nice. Anna Comando, thank you for the super chat. Do you feel old over the fact that I am only 1 year older than YGO Abridged? Also, get on with the videos, please. I apologize, Anna Co. Yeah, no, I definitely feel old. Anytime someone comes up to me and is like, you know, I'm young, I feel old. But no, it's weird. Can I be honest? I don't feel that old overall. You know, and I'm talking like in my general life. I don't know if anybody else has this experience, but I don't feel like an old person. I feel pretty young at heart, especially when I'm like watching Yu-Gi-Oh, especially when I'm doing stuff like this and watching content that just reminds me of how things were back in those days. Making the Abridged series in 2007, it takes me right back there. It's like I'm there again. I don't feel old as a result. I almost feel like I could go back and start over and be you know, have all this fresh material. I'm sure the Borat impression is going to age me by about 20 years though. Galin Ivanov. Galin, thank you so much for the super chat. Happy 20th from Bulgaria. Your show got me through multiple exam sessions where I just needed a break from British literature and linguistics. My roommate and I would quote it all the time and have tons of laughs. Oh, hell yeah. I'm glad that you were able to enjoy the show. And thank you for the happy 20th from Bulgaria. That's not a place I often hear people speaking from. Not a place that I get a lot of feedback from, but thank you so much. Last Keyblader, thank you for the super chat. Hey LK, I'm a big fan of your work. Your show was a big inspiration to get me into VO. And I finally got my first role in an anime last year, hoping for more opportunities, and thank you for everything. Congratulations. Seriously. That's not easy. That is a huge feather in your cap, and I'm very proud of you for actualizing that dream. And I look forward to knowing or hearing more from you in future if you get more work. That's really awesome, Last Keyblader. You don't have to send another super chat, but if you're in the chat still, let me know what anime it is, and I'd love to check it out. That's really awesome. Way to go. Bulgaria is the birthplace of Rusev Day. That's not true. Rusev Day is universal. It's everywhere. Bot Lightning Honeypot in the chat says, how many streams are you doing for this anniversary? As many as it takes. Why can't we celebrate the anniversary for the rest of the year? Why can't we do that? I think that that's valid, right? It's nice. I'm probably going to do a couple of Borat impressions while watching this because it's just hard not to do the voice while it's happening on the screen. You'll have to forgive me. It's self-indulgent, and, you know, I'm not going to say anything offensive with it. It's just an impression of a character. Sir Fooples III, thank you for the super chat. The Rammstein pleasant jump scare. Woo! It is a jump scare. It gets me jumping and headbanging. My wife. Everybody. See, everybody says, my wife. Everybody has their own Borat impression. Said, thank you for the super chat. Wow, appreciate it. 18 was my first YGO Abridged. Thought it was an official episode at first. As many others, the series helped my English. The comments sharing favorite jokes in the videos aided to understand. Thanks a lot, LK. That's actually really wonderful. That's really, really cool. Demon, a very merry unanniversary to you. Yeah, it'll if we keep going to next year, it won't be the anniversary anymore. But yeah, no, I actually hear that a lot, that the YGO Abridged videos help people learn the English language a bit better. And that's always kind of blows my mind. It makes me think of, I don't know if this is anybody else's go-to reference for that, but whenever I hear that, I think of that bit in Wayne's World where Tia Carrera's character, Cassandra, explains that she learned English from the Police Academy movies. And I'm always like, oh, I'm kind of like the Police Academy movies a little bit. Nacho Bot, holy cow. Give me a sec here. Let me finish these super chats that are in my screen here. Sorry. Bang first, thank you for the super chat. $2 for Bacora's 30 years of British planning.
That's like a whole quid. Thank you. Oh, no, wait, I mean,
that's like a whole quid. Yes, you are giving it to Yami Bacora, who is planning.
I'm not doing any planning. I suppose I'm planning to eat lots of cream puffs and have lashings of ginger beer.
Weird and depressing like the Police Academy movies. Were they depressing? There were some weird parts, certainly. Ed MG7, thank you for the super chat. Martin, I had no idea you were Spider-Man.
That's because I'm not. Now, come on. We have more videos to watch.
Shy Eye, thank you for the super chat. I wish they'd let Yami Bacora keep the filler power to summon monsters. Yeah, I loved him doing that. Always confused me as a kid when he never tried to do it again. Yeah, if you could just summon Manny a bug or whatever monster you want, come on. Do it. Do it more. Summon like a giant fucking kaiju or something. Take everyone out. Feline Bimbo, thank you for the super chat. I reference Kaiba's, oh my god, why are there so many stairs? Once a week. Well, I'm sorry that I assume you have to climb the stairs in order to make that reference, but your sacrifice is appreciated. Dragon Beak, I wish Bacora could have his anime powers more consistently. Bacora should just have his own anime magical girl series, let's be honest.
Moon Prism Power. Fighting evil by moonlight. Dating Maverick by daylight.
That's right.
Brit Yuzuki in Nishinari, thank you so much for the super chat. About Bakura being called Florence, remember that Leslie used to be a boy's name. Lots of names have sort of run the gamut of the gender binary. I think Florence suits him. And I think Florence has always kind of been a gender-neutral name. It just to Bakura in the Abridged show, he's like, how dare they call me that? Scones and Jam, or Scones and Jam, as I would say back in England. Thank you for the super chat. Yugi is such a sweetheart that he warms the heart of the slightly evil ghost in his head, and we all love it. Yeah, I do think that that is a wonderful aspect of Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is that Yami Yugi, when he first appears and he's unfiltered, he is a little bit psycho, a little bit cray-cray, a little bit not morally pure. He doesn't really hold back, and then Yugi kind of rubs off on him and he becomes a person. Shakira.
Oh, Beyonce, Beyonce. Oh, Bakura, Bakura.
Thank you for the super chat. Hi, wanted to redeem myself after Shank's question. Oh, you didn't have to redeem yourself. It's totally okay. It's really me that needs to redeem themselves. I'm the one that doesn't know. I'm the one that doesn't know the character well enough. I should be able to be like, oh, this is what it was like voicing Shanks. I have a very strong memory of that, but I don't. That's my bad. Brandon's Quest, thank you for the super chat. My ulcerative colitis was so bad they had to remove my large intestines, and I still deal with similar issues to this day. Can I be honest? And it's probably TMI on my part, but yeah, that is something that I'm having to concern myself with in the near future. As the medication that I'm on has stopped working as well as it was, and we're weighing our options as to what medication to switch me to, but we're going to see. Hopefully, I won't have to take the surgery. Hopefully I won't have to have surgery to have stuff removed, but it could happen, and I have to be okay with that possibility. Yay. Anyway, no more of that. We don't have to keep talking about that. Thank you for the super chat. Tigar Mask, I assume that's Tiger Mask. Thank you for the super chat. When you made Ninja Bridge reference in a recent episode, I appreciated the joke, but lamented losing such a fantastic series. I want to reassure you guys, it's going to come back at some point. Naruto spoof, definitely. I don't want you to think that it's done. I know that it's hard to believe given how long it's been, but I would love to jump back into that show at some point when the Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged is over. We just have to get through the Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. I'd love to come back to Naruto, though. Achiru et al. Thank you for the super chat. Thanks to you, my art is linked on TV Trope says everything is better with ponies. It was great running into you in Vancouver back in 2010. My husband and I quote your show at each other all the time. Is everything is better with ponies? Is that from my show? Is that Serenity? I feel like that's a Serenity thing. Sakura Uta, thank you for the super chat. I remember meeting you at Anime Expo. Binky Boy, the Abridged series for the win.
Binky Boy.
Nacho, thank you for the super chat. And I'm not sure of the currency, but the number has got lots of zeros in. So I'm going to assume that you gave quite a bit. And thank you for that. I love your work, Martin. This show is permanently on my mind, and I love it. Let's do this celebration as long as the real 25th anniversary of Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, that did keep going for a while, didn't it? I appreciate it, Nacho. Thank you so much. All right, one more super chat, and then I'm going to jump into episode 19 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, which is called... Oh, it's 334. Well, still, a lot of zeros in the number, so I appreciate you giving $3.34 in the form of 5,000 arse. You know me, I love my arse. Thank you so much, Nacho, for the super chat. And Nick Van Stiertegem, you're going to have to forgive me again for probably butchering your full name there. But Nick, thank you for the super chat. Happy 20th anniversary to Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, and chocolatey greetings from Belgium. One of my friends moved to Ireland, and we frequently do the Curry Bandits. Dude, R. For laughs. Curry Bandit. Oh, you're fine, Nacho Bot. Don't worry about it. I love it. Yeah, Curry Bandit, I remember really looking forward to Curry Bandit showing up, even though I always knew what he was going to do. It was going to be do to R. But I was always so excited because I knew what joke I was going to use, and it was a Karibo, so I was just hyped to get that in the show. There are certain moments in the show I am really looking forward to putting in the parody, and I usually have a very specific idea of what I want to do. Sometimes it's a bit more fluid, but this was, the Curry Bandit was definitely one where I was like, I know what I'm doing. All right. we're going to watch episode 19 of YGO Abridged, which the title is, and you have to say it with the voice, YGOTAS. Which is, I can't really do the Borat voice very well, period. It's not a good Borat impression, just to clarify. I don't think it's a very good Borat impression. But it's hard not to enjoy doing the Borat impression. So at the time when this episode came out, Borat was all the rage. It was in the zeitgeist. It was like the #1 comedy movie of the year. And so, of course, with everything else I was doing, I had to introduce things that I enjoyed comedy-wise into Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. And I didn't know what else to do with Shadi, so he became Borat. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, I do have a specific idea of what to do when Shadi comes back. And I'm going to tell you right now, and some of you will probably be like, no! And I'm going to reassure you, it's going to be okay. I think it's still going to be a good time. He's probably not going to be Borat anymore. It's going to be okay. My opinion is, and feel free to correct me if you think I'm wrong about this, I think that we exhausted all of the Borat jokes. That's my opinion. I know that some of you in the chat are going to be very disappointed to learn this. But I just think that we did the joke. I feel like he did it. We did it. And I do have a specific idea in mind, and I will reference the Borat stuff as well. But it's just, I just don't see the point of just having him be Borat still. It's like, to me, that's just like an old joke that it just wouldn't play in a good way these days. And it would be distracting because he shows up and he's just sort of there to be like, by the way, you're going to Egypt now. I tell you what, I don't blame some of you for being upset about it. I really don't. I recognize that, some of you have become attached to Borat Shadi. I just genuinely, and this isn't me being like, oh, it's problematic and I feel bad. There are aspects of that to this episode we're about to watch. But ultimately, I do think there could be a way of bringing the Shadi Borat thing back and it not being problematic whatsoever. I also just think, and this is the real reason, that joke wouldn't be that funny anymore. That's it. And he's not going to be around that much. Genuinely. All right. With that in mind, let's watch episode 19 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, YGOTAS.
Yo is filmed on location with the men and women of the Domino City Police Department.
Oh. ACAB includes all of the characters of Yu-Gi-Oh!
I can't believe I failed. All I wanted to do was steal an ancient Egyptian artifact, seize control of a billion-dollar company, and resurrect my dead wife. And I would have gotten away with it too, if it weren't for those meddling—
Don't you even think about making a Scooby-Doo reference.
Scooby-Doo killed my grandma, okay?
What do you want, Bakura? Can't you see I'm feeling distinctly unfabulous?
I want your Millennium Eye, so I'm challenging you to a shadow game.
I gotta say, just pulling the Millennium Eye out of Pegasus's head, one of the most baller moves that any Yu-Gi-Oh! Character has ever done. Like, that is so intense. I don't know if there's another Yu-Gi-Oh! Character that's done anything comparable to that. Are there any other Yu-Gi-Oh! Characters that have done anything quite so sadistic and violent and still, like, just walked away without any kind of punishment?
But I don't have any cards.
Cards? Where we're dueling, we don't need cards. We're going to do battle with ancient Egyptian laser beams.
Yes! That's from Xena Warrior Princess, that piece of music. I use it frequently throughout the entire Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. It comes up in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged movie when the Egyptian gods appear and get destroyed or whatever it is. It comes up a lot. Whenever something badass has to happen, I bring in this. It's called The Deliverer. It's a piece of music by Joe DeLuca, and it's from Xena Warrior Princess, if you ever wondered where that was from. But that's what that is.
Hey, Pegasus, remember how I said I was going to kill you last?
That's right, Bakura. You did.
I lied.
No, don't take my Millennium Eye. It goes so well with my outfit. Ah, that's the wrong eyeball, you fool.
Oh, sorry.
That's much better.
That is literally me. Like, there's no sound effect there. That is me off mic going... Like that is just me making the pop sound with my mouth. And it's kind of funny as a result because it doesn't feel like an effect. It feels like it's part of the audio that you're hearing. Also, a surprisingly large number of lines in that whole exchange were just quotes from things. Mac31589, you've given a super chat, and I've seen what you've said in the chat, and I just covered this. The Borat impression, Shadi is not going to sound like Borat anymore. And I talked about it quite extensively a minute ago. I recognize that some people are going to be disappointed, but no, I just think that joke has run its course, and it would be so dated. You know, unlike so much Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged humor that holds up. But no, it would be so dated, and it would just be so distracting in that part of the story for it to come back. Now, having said that, there will still be a running joke involving Shadi, and there will still be acknowledgement of the Borat stuff. I still want to make sure that people remember that, but it's not going to be the Borat thing that I do here. It's not going to be the same. I just think that would be boring more than anything. I'm sorry. I know. Some people love Borat. That was just surprising. Wyatt, hi again.
Croquet, what happened to Pegasus? Mr. Pegasus is feeling under the weather. He looks kinda dead. Well, he's not. Now excuse me, I have to go sandpaper my throat.
Now, these jokes about Pegasus being dead are specifically acknowledging that in the manga, he does die here. Like, he's gone. He's removed from the narrative. He is a deceased, he is an ex-Pegasus. So if you've read the manga, the reason why Yu-Gi-Oh! And company are like, oh, he must be dead, is because that's what happens.
I can't believe Pegasus is dead.
He died as he lived, draped in the arms of another man.
Let's go snoop through his things.
Man, that is one...
That's cool. Sorry, as I'm watching this back, thinking about how I was writing this, and this is more of just me acknowledging this for myself.
Sandpaper in my throat.
The way I wrote this...
I can't believe Pegasus is dead.
I'm pretty sure I wrote this way because in this scene it goes Joey speaks, Tristan speaks, then Taya speaks. Now these days I don't worry so much about that because I can make characters speak whenever I want. But back then I felt much more restricted by the footage. So the scene had to be Joey has a line, Tristan has a line, then Taya has a line. In retrospect, I wouldn't have had Tristan say, he died as he lived, draped in the arms of another man. Mostly because that would require Tristan to be aware of things, aware of people's sexuality, and aware of, Pegasus's whole deal. And I don't think he would have been. So I might have had Joey say that line instead, or even Yugi. But no, I wrote it this way because of the order of people speaking.
He died as he lived, draped in the arms of another man.
Let's go snoop through his things.
Man, that is one girl I'd like to play card games with. And by play card games, I mean have sex.
They're the same thing. We just learned that.
Pretty.
Look.
Okay, and I missed little moments like that with Tristan where he's in his own little world. Pretty. He thinks she's pretty, and it's valid.
It's Pegasus's blog. Reading this should allow the writers to fill in a bunch of plot holes. January 12th.
They're not plot holes. They just haven't been explained yet. I was trying to be all snarky, and that's just not appropriate. Poor media literacy, Martin of 2007.
Mood fabulous. Darling Cecilia. I still remember the first day
we met.
Whoa, I did some funky audio fade-in stuff there. That's cool. I was figuring out how audio works, slowly and surely.
You were the second most beautiful person I'd ever laid eyes on. The first was me, of course.
I'm always a big fan of when the characters from Yu-Gi-Oh! Appear and they're much younger in flashbacks, because they always just look like a shrunk-down version of what they look like currently. Basically look the same.
We fell in love instantly and decided to get married. Then, when we were standing at the altar, something very unexpected happened.
The sniper!
You exploded.
Bloody hell. Now, this is a dream, right? That doesn't literally happen. That's why I just made it feel like that literally happened. So that's how I remember it.
Yeah. That was kinda weird.
That was
In my
kinda
grief,
weird.
I took a trip to Egypt.
Because
that's what people do when they're grieving. They go to Egypt. Little did I know my destiny was waiting for me right around the
There
corner.
he is. Yagshamash, everybody.
Yagshamash, my name is Shadi, and in my country of Egypt, we no longer use slave to build pyramid. Now we make women do it instead.
What is... Imagine watching this with no frame of reference to Borat, and then this just starts happening. Jesus. What?
It's nice.
What the fuck, man? I'm laughing because it's both funny and shocking and just absurd. Like, it just feels like, why is he doing that?
If you come with me, I will show you why I hang donuts from my ears.
I followed him into an underground chamber filled with
I was taking a swing with that, I gotta admit. I think it was literally just like, what random impression could I do instead of just having the character be the character?
ancient artifacts.
Jewish peoples are always trying to come in here and steal my millennium items.
But
since you are not Jew, I let you have this one. It will grant you the power to see into people's minds.
This episode should be retitled Yikes. You have to understand, none of this reflects my opinions or feelings about any of this culture. I just was doing a Borat impression, like completely just oblivious to what any of it implied.
It's nice.
The Millennium Eye.
Could have just said, it's nice. Could have stuck with the, it's nice. But everything in between there, very oof. Very oof-coded.
He gave me the power to see into the world beyond. At long last I was reunited with you, my love. I thought my dreams had finally come true, but then you exploded again. You really need to stop doing that.
Pegasus and the amazing exploding Cynthia.
It says here...
Cecilia. Is it Cynthia in the Japanese and Cecilia in the English? 2026 Martin is 2007 Martin's lawyer. I advise you, 2007 Martin, to not say anything on the record.
That Pegasus found a way to bring Cecilia back from the dead using the Millennium items and Kaiba Corp's virtual technology. Man, I've read fanfics that made more sense than this crap.
No, you haven't. You've read nothing but gibberish.
Look, Pegasus must have released Grandpa's soul. This is super special awesome.
Would you stop saying super special awesome? It stopped being funny 15 episodes ago.
Wow. Now that must be why when Joey tries to come up with Brooklyn Rage as a catchphrase, Yami Yugi secretly is like, I'm gonna ruin that for him.
Oh, you did not just say that. Get back here. Nobody disses my catchphrase. Huh?
A lot of acknowledgement that catchphrases exist. There's a lot of jokes about that, the characters knowing that they had catchphrases. I think that I got to a point where even I was like, they're all just saying catchphrases. I have to put a lampshade on that.
What the hell's going on?
There has been a great disturbance. Someone has stolen a Millennium item. It was probably this little Jew boy. He must be hiding his horns underneath all that hair.
Okay. Hopefully there's not too much more of that. You'll have to forgive me. Terrible, terrible stuff.
I will use my Millennium key to probe his mind.
This is funny, though. This is funny.
Just give me a minute.
See, that doesn't need to be Borat. That's just funny. I will say, weirdly, that I do want to acknowledge, weirdly, that the Shadi Borat stuff was, in my spouse, when I first met Marin, that was one of their favorite gags from the fucking Abridged series, was the wah-wah-wee-wah and all that. So, our tastes have changed. You know?
The Jew's mind has been divided into two separate chambers. One looks like it belongs to a little boy.
I like the little toys all over the floor. Yugi needs to clean his soul room.
A very untidy little boy. If he lived in my homeland of Egypt, he would be stoned to death for his insolence. This other room is very mysterious. It gives me funny feeling in my ham.
Okay, just more Borat references. It just becomes something completely different. This is part of why I've made the decision to not have him be Borat when he comes back. You know, there's other aspects to it too, but part of it is it just stops being Yu-Gi-Oh entirely, you know? More than anything else, it just stops being about Yu-Gi-Oh! When he's talking.
Who the devil are you supposed to be?
Yagshamash, my name is Shadi. I'm here to persecute those who would steal my Millennium items.
Okay.
Is that...
Like you, do you like me?
No. Look.
I remember writing that bit where he says, I like you, do you like me? Which is a Borat quote, and Yami Yugi just says, no. That's almost like me from today went back and wrote that joke to be like, no, this is not, I do not like this.
I didn't steal anything, but if it'll set your mind at ease, then have a look around. By the way, have you ever seen Labyrinth?
People in the chat keep asking, am I going to continue these jokes when Shadi returns? I've explained twice, so you might have to just go rewind and watch what I said in the stream.
No. Why?
No reason.
Dance, magic, dance. Dance, magic, jump like magic, jump on me. Whenever you have a character walking around sort of an MC Escher painting style landscape, you gotta make a Labyrinth reference. What, babe? Babe with the power. What, babe? Power of voodoo. What, babe? Jump, magic, jump. Jump, magic, jump.
Don't worry, I'll save you.
Now this is interesting because, and he's going to make another anti-Semitic joke here, but this is interesting because in the upcoming episode where Grandpa goes to the Pharaoh's tomb, it's the Pharaoh that saves Grandpa in a much similar manner. So it's almost like it's a callback to something that hasn't happened yet.
This little boy has saved me. Perhaps he is not as Jewish as I had first suspected.
Hyrie says he as if it wasn't you. You're right. When I say he, I mean the character, but yes, I wrote and said that line. I can't escape that. This is very true.
What is this place?
5,000 years ago, Egyptian kings played a game of great and terrible power. These shadow games...
I actually really love that we get to see some of Yugi's monsters as these giant slabs. I don't remember this. This is great.
...were played with real monsters and real magic.
But it's very funny.
These games erupted into a war that threatened to destroy the world, and so all the monsters were locked away inside these stone tablets.
See, he's talking about Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, but the whole time all you're doing is waiting for him to make another inappropriate joke about Jewish people. That's part of why I do not want to bring him back as Borat later, because you will just be waiting for that the whole time.
Are you trying to tell me this show actually has a plot?
Oh no, you have angered the Dark Magician. Our only hope is to summon the Blue Eyes White Dragon.
No, don't.
Why not?
That's Kaiba's monster. I'm not going to let myself get saved by that.
That's valid. That's totally valid. You can handle the Dark Magician. That's your monster. Bring out a Karibo. That'll help.
Magician, you are not a gun. You are who you choose to be.
That's a Iron Giant reference.
Now choose.
Wow, wow, wee, wah.
From Iron Giant to Borat. The pendulum of references swung wildly in this one.
Little boy and his obscure movie reference has saved us both.
Remember when that was considered an obscure movie reference?
He must be the one the prophecy spoke of. I apologize for screwing with your head. It turns out that you are the chosen one. Now I must return to Egypt, even though I have not found the one who stole my item. Remember, the fate of the world rests on your tiny little shoulders.
Wait, he came looking for somebody who stole the item? And then he just left? I guess that's a good point, Martin of 2007. That actually is a funny joke about Shadi that has nothing to do with Borat.
Jinqui!
No, there it is. You had to have one little Borat thing at the end.
Koopa, can you hear me? Wake up!
Who the hell are you? Are you the angel of death?
Aw, isn't that cute?
You could very easily be that.
Okuba thinks he's dead.
Yugimoto, you are now officially king of card games.
Chow Squallow says, was Iron Giant ever obscure? Well, technically, yeah. It did flop at the box office. It did not do well. It was not a... You see, people are like, how is Iron Giant obscure? You have to understand, when it first came out, it was not a successful film. It didn't do well at the box office. It wasn't until it came out on TV and was watched over the years. and at this point now, yes, it's not obscure. But back in the day, yeah, it was not a popular movie. You know, a lot of people If I said Shawshank Redemption, you'd all know what I was talking about. But when that film came out, it flopped big time. Nobody went to see it. It had to gather a cult following on TV.
As winner of the Duelist Kingdom tournament, I bestow upon you this extremely girly card. Also, here's $3 million. Yoink!
What was the deal with that card? Is that like something Pegasus?
Games. As winner of the Duelist Kingdom tournament, I bestow upon you the...
What is that? What does that represent? Is that like Pegasus saying this is my angel giving you this gift or something? What is the implication of this card? I forget. A card based on his dead wife? Oh, of course. That actually does make sense, but if it's the ties of friendship, says Sir Straw Hat, that is something different.
This extremely girly card. Also, here's $3 million. Yoink!
Now you can pay for your sister's operation.
Look how small Yugi is. Bakura is on his knees, and he's basically face to face with him.
Screw my sister, I have money.
Oh shit, Joey got one. I forgot. Joey got a Screw the Rules variation, and it's not a nice one. It's not a memorable one. It's a mean one.
You each have 5 minutes to get off the island before we release the hounds.
Big brother, where are you?
Ah,
I'm starting to develop abandonment issues.
Oh, face it, kid. Kaiba never loved you.
Jesus, Yugi, there's no need for that. It's not remotely true, as you know. Actually, it's questionable in the Abridged series.
Seto, it's you! And you're
Stop
smiling! Stop smiling, big brother. It's really
Big
creepy.
brother.
Kaiba's smiling? That's the most disturbing thing I've ever seen.
I mean, it's slightly less upsetting than that guy who came in the episode and made a bunch of anti-Semitic jokes, but still very upsetting to watch Kaiba smile.
Whenever Kaiba smiles, a puppy dies.
Yugi.
Can the Borat joke die as well?
Because of the circumstances, our last duel was not conclusive. Perhaps the next time...
Kaiba's frame here is kind of like... I know the jacket is doing a lot for him, but that is the widest I've ever seen Kaiba look. He looks pretty wide for a Kaiba.
Time we duel, we will finally learn which of us is truly superior.
In case you hadn't noticed, I'm the king of card games. And besides, I already beat you in the first episode.
What's your point?
My point is, you're never going to beat me, so just get over it.
He kind of beat you a few episodes ago, bro. Like,
I hate you so much.
Now, I remember writing that line and thinking, as long as I say that line in a funny way, it will be funny. But I don't think I pulled it off. I don't think Kaiba saying, I hate you so much, is the joke that I thought it was going to be when I wrote the script. I thought that was going to be like a funny, like, he hates Yugi. No, there needs to be more to that joke, I think.
Come on, Mokuba. We're going to have our own tournament with blackjack and hookers. In fact, forget the tournament.
Well done, Yugi. We saved the world. And more importantly, we rubbed it in Kaiba's face.
Yeah, by the way, who the hell are you?
This is the first time in the abridged version that we acknowledge, like, directly that Yugi is aware that there's another person speaking to him in these moments. Like, it has happened in the previous episode with Pegasus and everything, but this is the first time they really acknowledge it.
I have had many names. Once I was known as Pharaoh. Then I was known as the artist formerly known as Pharaoh. But you can call me Yami.
I thought your name was Atem.
Shh! Don't spoil it now!
Now, whenever people say, are you gonna call him something else when they reveal his name? I feel like because I made that joke there, don't spoil it now, I have to have him be called Atem. He has to be, because otherwise he's lying. If his name isn't Atem when they finally reveal it, why would he be upset about spoilers? That's a silly thing to be hung up on, is continuity in the Abridged series, but I do feel like he should be called Atem.
I just realized, now that the tournament's over, we have to go back to school.
Dance, magic, dance. Dance, magic, dance. Dance, magic. Now, if I remember rightly, actually, let's watch this end bump here. This is, oh, that's right. He starts going, it's time to do, and then you hear a clip of Yugi going, stop, and he stops and it plays grasshopper sounds. It's not super funny. Let's watch it.
It's time to
Stop! And then...
Quick!
What?
Someone fetch a bedpan! Oh, too late.
He keeps pissing himself. Grandpa with the fucking giant hair is wild. All right. I actually remember, I think that episode you just watched and the next 2 episodes, if I remember rightly, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it starts here. But I released I released like 3 episodes and the Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged movie all in the same day. And I remember doing that. I don't remember why I did it. I think it was because I got so many messages from people saying, please make the abridged movie, because I made a fake trailer for the movie. And so I think as a result, people were like, we really want to see what you would do with the movie. So I was like, sure, okay, I'm going to sit and make the Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged movie. But I also want to finish season 1. So I released both the abridged movie and several episodes, like 3 episodes, at the same time as a treat. And I always wondered what it was like as a fan to watch those things come out one after the other. Because I remember uploading them and just letting them go public. So it went episode 20, episode 21, episode 22, Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged the movie, Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged the movie part 2, Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged the movie part 3. And that must have, I can only imagine what it must have been like as a fan of my content to be like, another episode? Another episode? A movie? What? That must have been crazy. Like, I really wish I could have experienced that from the other side. But as the person doing it, I was like, I hope they like it. And I think people liked it. I think people liked that experience, at least. All right. I'm going to read some more super chats, and then we're going to watch The Rebexorcist, which is the introduction of Rebecca Hawkins, a character that has had like 5 different voice actors in my show. A bit of a cursed role for various reasons. Werecat Omega, good news, there are 1.8k 30-year-old fans here ready to tell you. I hope you guys liked it if you were there at the time. Let's read some super chats. JJH Rogers, thank you for the super chat. And you didn't write anything, but thank you. Oh, Luke the Fox, thank you for the super chat. Lovely to see your chat. I'm mates with Frobman. Hey, we love Frobman. Frob is one of the people that talked to me extensively about Kamen Rider before I could appreciate it. And did voiceover work for him. Oh, hell yeah. Was on an episode of Falero's Rocher Hotel years ago. Love Falero. Falero's like my brother from another mother. My spirit animal. My spiritual sibling. I identify with Falero a lot. He's a very funny guy. A bit down on himself, and I can understand. I also feel this way. Shakira, thank you for the super chat. How did you learn how to sing? Well, I don't know if I can sing very well. I personally am my own worst critic, though. I just don't like listening to myself. But if I were to, the only training, quote unquote, that I've had for singing is I was in my school choir in like elementary school. I don't know what you'd call it in America. In England, it was primary school. So I assume that's elementary school. I don't know. I never know the difference between the school systems. But I was in the choir and I just sang with the choir at school. That's all I did as far as practicing singing or anything like that. I didn't have any kind of formal teaching. I just sort of enjoy singing to myself every so often these days. I'm a big fan of musicals. I've never been in one, but I'm a big fan of them. I love singing songs to myself. That's really, I mean, honestly, that's how I learned how to act as well, even though, you know, I have been in stage productions of things, in amateur theater and everything. Most of my acting experience comes from just talking to myself and doing character voices and just practicing in my spare time and making videos and stuff. It's all kind of self-taught, which shows, I think, in a good and bad way. Mostly good, I hope. Pastel Frightmare, thank you for the super chat. My wife and I bonded over this Abridged series in college. We've been together for 16 years now. Oh, wow. I hope to meet you someday. Love from Denmark. Oh, much love to Denmark. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm happy that you guys bonded over the Abridged series in college. That seems like a good time to check the show out, and I'm glad that you have fond memories. Buddhabot, thank you for the super chat. My wife, my Valentine. Hell yeah. She'd be a great wife. She's just so beautiful and so cool and confident. Lindy Lou, thank you for the super chat. Been watching since I was 8, never watched the actual Yu-Gi-Oh! Somehow, so all of my knowledge truly comes from you. Wow. So not much knowledge then. Thanks for fundamentally altering my sense of humor. Oh, well, thank you for fundamentally altering my whole existence by supporting me. I do appreciate it. You're very kind. Glad to hear it, Lindy. I hope you're doing well. Since you were 8, gosh, I don't know what an 8-year-old must think when they find my content. Probably that the voices are funny and silly. Which is a valid take. Tiger Mask, thank you again for a super chat. Met you at SunnyCon in Newcastle, by the way, back in the early 2010s alongside the Team 4-Star lads. Pushing 30 soon and still loving every episode. Oh, well, I hope you like the next episode. Episode 89 is coming out soon. It's going to be about 18 minutes long. I was considering removing a long joke from the episode and making it shorter, which would have brought it down to like 16 minutes. But I like the joke too much. So it's going to be 18 minutes. Gabriel DeVoogle, thank you for the super chat. And I do remember being in Newcastle with Team 4-Star in the early 2010s. That was a good time. I miss those guys. Not that I have seen a bunch of them recently. I actually see Scott and Nick, not often, but more often than I see some people. And they're good guys, and I miss them. Solar Regis, thank you for the super chat. Going into season 5 is the... You see, I think I answered this one already. So, but thank you for the super chat. Gallifreyan Avenger, thank you for the super chat. LK, happy 20th to Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. Your show got me through my adolescence and inspired me to do a terrible and short-lived Doctor Who Abridged and get a film degree. Recently bought my first apartment, completely nostalgic. Cheers. Cheers to you as well, Gallifreyan Avenger. Doctor Who Abridged, that would be fun. There's a lot you could do with that because... Honestly, especially with the old stuff, like, if I were to imagine a Doctor Who Abridged, I imagine it sort of like how a solid JJ video works, where it would be stills with captions, and like you could do like old school style audio, like with static and like mono and everything. That would be fun. But also, there's a lot to make fun of in Doctor Who. Yours was cringe. Oh, well, mine is cringe too, so you're in good company. Eric Liu, thank you for the super chat. Excited for more GX. Pegasus's 2 or 3 cameos were great. Also, Chumley's episode is 5 away and the best one that doesn't feature the phrase Chaz it up. If it doesn't feature the phrase Chaz it up, I send it back. If it is chazzed down, I send it back. But thank you, Eric, for the super chat. I'm excited for more GX. Voodoo271, thank you for the super chat. You mentioned better abridges previously. Be nicer to yourself. I'll try. How do you feel about Purple Eyes WTF and your little crossovers with him? Those were the golden days for real. Well, back in the day, I certainly loved doing that. Purple Eyes, very talented editor, and, as far as esoteric surrealism humor, there were few that matched him back then. Don't really know him these days. I understand he's unfortunately started using AI in his videos, and I don't approve of that. I'm not okay with that. But at the same time, I'm not here to besmirch anybody or disparage anybody or put anybody down. It's just not my bag, baby. But back in the day, I really enjoyed working with Purple Eyes. He seemed, like a fun person to work with. Ridley Smash, thank you for the super chat. Favorite episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged and the original show. Favorite episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged is probably the final episode of season 4. The darts duel, where it's Yami, Yugi, and Kaiba versus darts. I just think I did a really good job. I think that I managed to make what felt at the time, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's almost a 30-minute episode. It's almost a full-length episode of a show, and it's a combination of like 4 or 5 episodes of the actual show. So it's long for a reason. And I know some people are like, well, is it really abridged if it's, 20, 30 minutes? But in my opinion, I actually think that because it connects a lot of episodes into one single one, it is abridged. I think that's what abridging is. It's not just 5 minutes long. It's shorter than the original. And I just think I did a great job. I think the acting was, pretty great. I think the editing was pretty great. I think the writing was pretty great. I think Takahata 101 as Darts was, basically, he was firing on all cylinders. I really love that one. And the OG show, favorite episode, gosh. It's hard because a lot of them kind of blend together for me. But I'm a big fan of... Actually... See, I'm tempted to say GX because my favorite episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now is the one where Dark Magician Girl duels Jaden and Cyrus and Chaz are doing commentary. I think that's the best episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! But the original Duel Monsters show, I'm a big fan of the Joey versus Yugi duel. I think that Yugi getting to duel in Yami Yugi's place and being brave, I'm very proud of him. That's a moment before he's necessarily ready for that kind of a challenge, and he still steps up to it because his friend is in danger. And even though it's him being threatened, he's more concerned about the person threatening him, his friend. And that's just it embodies the Yugi character for me. I really love that one. Anthelom TCG, thank you for the super chat. There's lots of references you make that you call obscure, even though it's shit like Zelda. Did I call a Zelda reference obscure? Really? That seems silly. But you're right. I think when I say obscure reference, sometimes I'm saying that because I think that people watching, aren't watching to hear those references. So they're just like, well, that's random. That's obscure. But it's not. It usually isn't. I just think that using adjectives makes things funnier. The more adjectives, the funnier. Sir Straw Hat, good to see you. Thank you for the super chat. The super chat from Straw Hat. I know there's no wrong way for people to ship characters, but there is one pairing that would be toxic AF. Silent shipping, Serenity x Kaiba. It would be weird. It would be weird. I've seen that there are lots of fanfics about that pairing. It's not something I've ever checked out. So no, it probably would be a bit weird. I don't know about toxic necessarily. I mean, I guess because Kaiba's involved. That's not something that I've ever thought about, really. Oh, Straw Hat, you're saying it would be something Kaiba would be doing to fuck with Joey. I don't think Kaiba would put himself that close to Joey's family in order to fuck with Joey. Kaiba would not want even to pretend to be kissing someone that is related to Joey. Wumbo, thank you for the super chat. Hey man, just want you to know my best friend is Jewish and the Borat Shadi, and he finds Borat Shadi very funny and not offensive. Obviously doesn't speak for everyone, but don't worry too much. I appreciate that, Wumbo, but at the same time, if I'm being entirely honest, there's lots of people that have come up to me and said, hey, I am of this culture. I am trans. I am, they often are like, well, I'm a woman and I don't find this joke sexist. And I think that's great. I think that if that person is still able to enjoy the humor and the content, like I talked about this pretty extensively on one of the previous streams, I think the second one. A lot of these jokes where I'm like, well, I don't think that that's okay. If you still get something out of them, I would never want to take that away from you. And if you personally don't have a problem with it, that's fine. But ultimately, my perspective on it is my perspective. And it's not so much that I'm worried about that stuff. It's more just that, oh, I can do better. I can find a better joke than that. I don't have to resort to that. And if you're a person out there who's like, well, why do you regret it? There are people who are like, you're turning your back on people who enjoy that joke. And it's like, no, you can enjoy it. I've not taken the joke away. I just have made it clear how I feel about it and that I wouldn't be doing that anymore these days. But I appreciate your feedback. I appreciate that your friend feels that way. And that's entirely valid. Please don't feel like you've said anything out of line whatsoever. I appreciate your perspective, and I think that what you say is great. Mr. Midgardville, thank you for the super chat. I never knew who Borat was when I first saw this and still barely know about him, but Shadi was one of my favorites, I think because it's clearly a joke. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, yeah, it is absurd. It is absurd. And I think that's part of why even back when it came out, I remember thinking, this is funny because he feels like he's from a different show, and it feels like it's coming completely out of left field. And I remember sort of like this was my mindset at the time. I justified it by being like, this is funny because it's so out of left field. This is so funny. This is funny because it feels so inappropriate for what is happening. And to an extent, that is true. Like, if you watch that and you have no fucking clue what Borat is, it is surreal. But, you know, I also look at it and think, well, this is a reference to something from 2006. So it honestly feels more cringe because it's old more than anything. Rebel Umbreon, thank you for the super chat. Your version of Rebecca is one of my favorite characters, and I really wish Yugi would just date her already. Ah, sorry, I unfortunately can't make that happen. Yugi wants what he wants. Otakumon's Hobby Corner, thank you for the super chat. Screw the rules, I gave you money. Well, you're very kind. Keep up the good work. I will do my best. Ninja, thank you for the super chat. Should do a reverse Ghost Stories Abridged. Yes, just a very faithful adaptation. I think that is funny. That is a funny idea, you know? I think if somebody did that, if they just released a true to the original fan dub of Ghost Stories and said, this is my Ghost Stories Abridged, I would say that person wins. That person would win the abridged internet. Nine Arachna, thank you again. Thank you for the super chat. Late at responding to this, but it's funny because I saw the Iron Giant in theaters, yet I have no clue what Borat or the other one you mentioned is. Yes, and I think the reason that a lot of people here are more familiar with something like the Iron Giant as opposed to Borat is because this show is aimed at people who like animated content. People who like Yu-Gi-Oh! Are more likely to see the Iron Giant than necessarily the Borat movie or the show, the Sacha Baron Cohen's Ali G series. Funnily enough, and this has nothing to do with Yu-Gi-Oh! It's more to do with Little Karibo. It's more to do with Martin. Talking about the Iron Giant. I fucking love the Iron Giant. But can I be honest with you guys? And I'm serious. The Iron Giant, one of the best animated films in the last, like, 30 years. That's my feeling. I genuinely feel that way. Brad Bird, very, very incredible director. And he's, you know, he's done a great job with that movie. When I first saw that movie, it was in theaters, and it was my first trip to America. And I'm trying to be kind of vulnerable with you guys, and by vulnerable I mean I'm talking about how sad and pathetic and cringe I was. I went to America to meet a girl that I had a crush on, and this girl was an artist, and a very talented artist, and I was like, I had no fucking clue what I was doing. Yes, it was my first trip to America in America. I saw the movie in America. The Iron Giant, a metaphor for America. Or Russia, I'm not sure. But yeah, I saw the movie in America with this girl that I had a crush on. And can I be honest, and this is me calling myself out, I tried to be all cool and be like, oh, that movie wasn't very good. Kind of childish. And I'm saying this to a girl who was clearly really into art. And we just watched one of the best animated movies. One of the best animated movies that would come out for decades. And I was like, not a great movie. I'm an adult. I like movies that aren't children's movies. And I was trying to sound like mature. I was trying to be like, I like good movies. But yeah, no, obviously a great fucking movie, and I was an idiot, and in the chat, you calling me out, I did fumble. Fumbled big time. I fumbled more than anyone could fumble. I bumbled, and I fucking Royal Rumbled. It didn't go well. If there'd been more Yu-Gi-Oh! in the movie, maybe if we'd watched Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie, I would have been like, great movie, very mature. I like good movies. Yeah, I'm very smooth. All right. I'm going to leave the super chats. Actually, no, I've got a couple more here. I do apologize. I was jumping the gun there. Thank you for that, Nine Arachna. Nick Van Stiertigum. Thank you for the super chat. I'm sorry, I keep mumbling over your surname. Was there ever a nod to face down as up, if not face down? Oh, face down ass up. If not face down ass up. That's the way the pharaoh ducks. Yes, I see what you're doing. For some reason I started saying it as Pegasus, but that made it sound weird. Face down, ass up. Yes, there should be a reference to that because, you know, face down and all that. You're right. Solar Regis, thank you for the super chat. You should call him Martin or LK in the final episode. Oh, Atem? I could never. He deserves a way cooler name. Chase Bolander, thank you for the super chat. Thanks for the decade of laughter. As a gift, sorry. Oh, my stomach. As a gift to my best friend, please, as Kaiba,
Cody Beckler, you're a third-rate duelist with a fourth-rate deck.
You're only second-rate.
That's right, Cody Beckler. I've got your number. And your number is 3 and 4. You've heard of 6-7. Well, you're a 3-4. I can meme. Right, Mokuba?
Actually, bro, that's not how it...
Shut up, Mokuba.
Hey, big bro.
What?
6-7.
I'm gonna kill you. Why I oughta...
Anyway. That's Mokuba and Kaiba doing things. Let's watch episode 20 of YGO Abridged, titled The Rebexorcist. Which, yeah, no, I guess if I should preface this with anything, this, I think, is the first episode with another character that is not voiced by me. This is really the first time, this is the first episode where there is a character that is voiced and it isn't me doing it. And I mentioned her previously in the last stream. She did a voice for the little monster life attack point thing, the wheel. It was my ex-wife, Abby, a.k.a. Safety, who would voice Rebecca this first time. And I think she voices Rebecca just this episode. I don't think Rebecca comes back in another episode. But yes, this is the first time I would have somebody else. And I believe that she was using the same microphone that I was using. So it's consistently not good audio. But yeah, no, this was the first time I ever was like, yeah, somebody else. I can't do a girl voice. All right, so let's watch it. It starts off with this piece of music you're about to hear at the beginning of this one is from an episode of Spaced. And it was a very specific piece of music I had in mind for the opening of this because I always loved it. And it's sort of like a riff on love lifts us up where we belong. And I think it's referencing an officer and a gentleman in the episode of Spaced. But anyway, that's where the music's from. And I just wanted to mention it because I love the music.
Grandpa, you're okay. Yugi, come give your grandpa a big hug.
It's so emotional.
Gramps, you don't blame me for everything that happened to you, do you?
Yes.
Now, look at that cross-eyed little munchkin. That opening sequence was interesting because I had a very specific way I wanted it to play out, but because of the sequence of shots and the lack of lip flaps, I had to do it however the footage allowed it to work. So there's a big gap between Yugi saying, "You would never do that to me, right?" and Grandpa going, "Yes," which is kind of awkward, but it also means there's a funny pause. I'm sniffly, I do apologize.
I'm so proud of you, Yugi. You rescued my soul and you became the king of card games. By the way, what happened to Bakura?
I forgot that I called it the king of card games. I should bring that back because I've been just saying king of games, but king of card games is funny because it's way more specific and not as impressive.
Oh, we left him back on the island.
Hello? Anybody? I want to go home.
Now, why does it... I feel like... it must be because of the way the episodes have been re-uploaded or something, but some of this footage seems different than... It feels like it cut back way too soon from the island. Maybe something has happened because of... I don't know. I feel like I must have re-uploaded it or something to the new channel and it must have been... Something must have been affected. Maybe I'm crazy.
Now that you're out of the hospital, you can go back to running that worthless card game shop that nobody ever visits. The basement has seemed so empty without you.
Hello.
Who's that?
Ah. The Exorcist theme because it's the Rebexorcist.
My name's Rebecca. I'm 8 years old, and I'm the #1 ranked duelist in America.
That's
In America.
impossible. Only grown-ups are allowed to play
Grandpa is, like, actually taller than her.
children's card games.
He's kind of establishing dominance.
I'm looking for Solomon Moto.
Who the hell is Solomon Moto?
Yugi, that's your grandpa.
He has a name?
Hello, little girl. If you're trying to get into my will, you'd better hurry up. I could drop dead at any second, with any luck.
You stole my blue-eyes white dragon.
Oh, she's so cute.
She wasn't talking to you.
I remember... I don't remember exactly what the impetus behind, like, making the teddy bear speak with Satan voice is. But I'm pretty sure it was just the fact that she keeps holding it up. Well, she doesn't keep doing it. She does it once. In the actual episode, she holds up the teddy bear and waves it around, like saying, "I will eat you alive." She's not doing a voice, though. She's just sort of being silly. And then I was like, well, what if... what if that teddy bear was actually possessed by Satan? And I'm really sad that whenever she came back, she didn't have the teddy bear with her, because it would have been great if the teddy bear had stuck around.
Nah, the bear is possessed.
Don't be silly. It's just a regular teddy bear.
Well, okay, but it did seem kinda like...
You'll be the first to die.
I want you to return the card you stole from me.
You'll never get it back. It's mine. Mine, I tell you.
What my grandpa's trying to say is that he would never steal a card from another duelist. You must be mistaken.
It's mine. All mine.
Grandpa's one of my favorite characters. So having him back in the narrative is pretty great. You'll have to forgive me. I have to be right back 1 sec. It sounds like my dog needs to be let out in the yard. So I'm gonna be right back 1 minute. Forgive me. Come on, dog. Okay, sorry about that. I had to let her out in the yard because she needed to go. But I'll keep an ear out for when she needs to be let back in. Sorry about that. All right. Grandpa's one of my favorite characters, though. He's so funny. Like, I think that most of Grandpa's dialogue makes me laugh.
No.
I don't believe you. I challenge you to a duel, old man, and if I win, I get back the blue eyes you stole from me.
Bring it on, you little bitch.
Grandpa, no! You just got out of the hospital. You're in no fit state to play a harmless children's
I can
card
take
game.
her!
I'll duel her in your place.
Fine by me. I'll win either way. Isn't that right, Teddy?
Your mother plays card games in hell.
It's a reference to a line from The Exorcist, and I don't want to repeat it, but it's a different activity that your mother is doing in hell in that movie. I love Grandpa. I just want to reiterate, I love Grandpa. I think he's really funny. And I think part of why I've enjoyed the Kyber Corp Grand Championship stuff so much has been because he has been a pretty active element within it. He's lots of opportunities for Grandpa humor.
Okay.
Look, Daddy, it's a blue eyes, a real one.
It's just a statue, you ignorant child. By the way, the Easter Bunny isn't real either, and I'm not even your real father.
Oh, wow.
Just the slow... Hang on. Are there even characters speaking those lines? Oh yeah, it's these guys. This is something that happens. I don't know if you've noticed this in other Abridged series, but especially in the really old ones, sometimes you would look at like a random shot of characters that wouldn't necessarily be obviously speaking or even like part of the scene, but you'd be like, okay, this is where the joke is coming from. And these guys, this is why there's this whole exchange.
Daddy, it's a blue eyes, a real one.
It's just a statue, you ignorant child.
You
By the
ignorant
way,
child.
the Easter Bunny isn't real.
Oh, that's right. Lillian points out that it's just a statue, son. That is real. A lot of jokes from back in the day would just be like, what if the conversation kept going?
Real either, and I'm not even your real father.
Oh, wow. A theme park based around a children's card game. This is the most absurd concept ever.
You say that, but we've got some pretty wild theme parks now, Martin, of 2007. there's a theme park based around how to train your dragon. So, of course, there's going to be a theme park about how to summon your dragon.
Hey, Mokuba, do you mind if we play a card game here?
Sorry, Yugi, we're fully booked. But since you saved my immortal soul from the clutches of an evil mastermind, I suppose I can allow it just this once.
Mokuba's really cute in this bit. I just want to point out that the way they draw him, he's so sassy.
Wow, you can do that?
My brother is Seto Kaiba.
Look at that.
I can decide who lives and who dies.
I'm fucking cute.
I summon Witch of the Black Forest.
I summon Disgruntled Celtic Guardian.
That's strange.
Well, that's weird to see him summon the Celtic Guardian without a joke associated with it. Usually when we summon the bloody Celtic Guardian, it's some sort of adjective situation.
This card game seems awfully familiar. Rebecca, what's your last name?
Why would you... Hang on, I've just realized... Why would she repeat the same duel that the grandpa had? Like, is that meant to be like happenstance? Is that meant to be like destiny at play?
If you must know, it's Hawkins, and yet, my grandfather...
Oh, that's right, Disgruntled isn't the actual name of the Celtic Guardian. In my head, I was like, well, of course that's his actual name. I'm sorry, you guys are right. That is not his actual name.
...is Professor Arthur Hawkins, the man you betrayed.
Holy on a sandwich with on top.
And a side
helping of...
My grandpa would never do something like that.
It's the truth. The voices in my head told me so. Isn't that right, Teddy?
Hail Satan! Rebecca, please. Your grandfather and I were very close. We met
fucked.
in Egypt on an archaeological dig.
We were both grieving, so we had to go to Egypt.
Where we bonded over our mutual hatred of young people. He also shared with me some very controversial theories. I believe that the...
Arthur Hawkins, another of my favorite characters. I just love the old guys, I guess. But I don't think Arthur was very funny back then. I hadn't thought of anything to do with him, but now he's really funny, in my opinion.
Ancient Egyptians used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! In their spare time. Pull the other one.
That's bullshit.
No, really, I mean it. Next you'll be telling me that the Romans played Pokemon. Look at this card, Solomon.
They probably did, right? I bet... Have they established that in Pokemon yet, that the ancient Romans would play it? Have they established that the Colosseum was built by a fucking zigzagoon? or a Geodude?
See how it barely resembles these ancient hieroglyphs. My god, you're right. This could revolutionize the field of Egyptology.
We love the old man Yowie field explorers.
Somehow, just then, the tomb collapsed around us. We had been trapped inside a cold and desolate place, far from human contact. But since we were both very old, we were used to that sort of thing. I say, Solomon, let's have a card game to decide which one of us gets to live.
No, you gotta give it to him. He's very optimistic. Wait, what? I was about to say, oh, he's thinking about playing a card game in this situation. He's making the most out of this, and then I just realized what he said. I genuinely did a double take there. I was like, wait, he's what? I assume one of them's going to eat the other one. Is that the deal?
That's the sickest thing I've ever heard. Let's do it.
I am so sick of your lying lies, you big fat liar!
Shut up, you hussy! Yugi's grandpa would never lie. He's the wisest man I've ever met.
Where am I? What day is it? I like pudding.
Him folding his arms and wisely saying, I like pudding.
Sacrifice all my monsters
Grandpa's great. I love Grandpa. Do you get that? I love him.
in order to power up my shadow ghoul.
I surrender, Arthur.
You win, Rebecca. I surrender.
I won. Now hand over my card.
Now they're gonna go out of their way to explain, very frustratingly, that because Yugi chose to lose, he actually won. And I think that's bollocks. That is pure patented bollocks. That is not true. You lost, Yugi. It's in the record book.
If you insist.
Bedinsis asks, how was it to direct someone else for this episode? If I'm being entirely honest, and it's not that I don't remember, I'm pretty sure I remember, but I suck at directing. I'm really, really bad at directing. I get very intimidated when I'm expected to do that. I don't know how to ask people to retake things, or this is me being 100% honest. And I don't want to like hold back about this because it probably explains a lot about my show. I don't like telling people that they did something wrong. I don't like telling people, hey, can we do that again? I usually just am like, okay, thank you for doing that. I appreciate your work. I don't want to make you do any more of it. I'm happy that you did it. You know, I can't get into that mindset of, well, actually, you need to do this instead, or what I intended with that was actually this. So sometimes I end up leaving in lines or changing jokes entirely that weren't my intention and weren't in the script or weren't done that way when I conceived of it. There's a specific example. I don't even know if it's in the video, and I'm saying this, I want to be clear that this is my fault. This is my own problem. This is me just having no confidence in myself. There was a joke that I wrote where Gozaburo, in a flashback, he gets basically betrayed by Hobson. And I wrote the line, et tu Hobson, as a reference to et tu Brute, the line that Caesar has when, Brutus and others betray him and murder him. And I wrote et tu Hobson, and when Antfish, very talented Anthony Sardinia, when he recorded the dialogue, he thought that was like, Hobson? He thought it was more of a sound. He didn't realize that I'd written Latin, and that it was a reference to something. And that was my fault for not making that clear. But when he recorded that and gave it to me, I was like, well, I don't want to be like, hey, you did it wrong. So, which I could have very easily. I just was too intimidated. So it's more like a stutter kind of thing. And I don't remember if that ends up being left in the video or if I just edited around it. But I remember at the time being like, if I were a good director, I would tell him, no, you have to say this, and this is why you're saying this, and it's meant to be this way for a reason. But because I was just so intimidated by the idea of doing that, I think I just left the joke out entirely, which is my bad.
You tore it! You ruined the collector's value! How am I going to sell it on eBay now? Satan will be very angry.
Rebecca, behave yourself.
Grandpa!
Grandpa.
So is that really you?
It's Grandpa for the course.
Ooh, yes, I've decided to show up at the last minute in order to tie up all the loose ends.
He was just waiting outside watching all this.
Rebecca, did you know that Yugi actually won the duel?
Fucking bullshit, mate. That's fucking bollocks. No.
I won!
Take a look at this card. It's called Soul Release.
Right.
If Yugi had played this, you would have lost.
If he had.
But he didn't play it! He surrendered!
Yes, but he could have won. Therefore, he was the winner.
Oh, he's wrong, and I'm so angry about it.
But Yugi lost!
And that is why he won.
Shut the fuck up.
What?
Allow me to make things even more confusing for you.
You know, Arthur Hawkins, you're not as funny as you become later on, but you are pretty fucking funny still.
You see, when Solomon lost the duel, he did so in order to save my life. Solomon, you shouldn't have surrendered.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Even though I sacrificed monsters during my duel with Solomon, I never failed to honor their sacrifice. You see, Rebecca, with great cards comes great responsibility.
I'm sorry, Yugi.
That's okay. Here.
That's all that dialogue just for the payoff of Spider-Man quote. Not good, 2007 Martin. Bad joke.
Take this card that I won. I didn't even...
Oh, hey, it makes sense that it's so girly now. It's something that he's going to give to her.
want it anyway.
Does this make me the king of card games?
Hell no.
Isn't
Hell no. That was a good delivery of that, actually. Hell no.
Anybody else worried about the evil teddy bear?
What evil teddy bear?
Hey, there it is. Because it was so notable that I put it in the text there at the end because it just hadn't happened before.
Put down your weapon. You have 20 seconds to comply.
That's funnier than any of the actual Robot Monkey jokes I made when we get to the Robot Monkey stuff.
Hello? Is there anybody out there? I'm still stuck on this bloody island.
Hang on, I'll help you, Bakura. Let me get over there. Where are you? Can't find him. There's a bunch of dead duelists over here, a bunch of children that were not allowed to return home after the tournament. They stayed here. I don't know where he is. No, he's not over here. He could be anywhere. You know what? I assume he'll be fine.
Why doesn't anybody answer? Oh, look, a kitty cat.
Oh.
Hello there, kitty. Oh, no, don't do that. Bugger off, kitty.
Why is there a tiger on Duelist Kingdom Island? What is that? All right. Okay. Let me read some super chats. That was a fun episode. I remember being very happy with how the episode turned out, mostly because I never had another actor involved before, so it was a nice change of pace. It was fun, honestly, to get to just work on that with, you know, my wife at the time. It was a nice bonding thing, and, you know, we had a lot of fun, a lot of laughs. You know, I say I'm not a great director, and I certainly wasn't back then, but I don't think I was trying to direct back then. I think I was just like, no, this will be fun. Let's do it. Let's go. It'll be funny. I don't think I gave any real advice except, no, do it again, or something like that, you know. Maybe. All right, there's a bunch of super chats. I'm going to see where we're at when I'm done with these super chats. I might need to call it a stream just because I've been going for almost 3 hours, and I am feeling a bit rough. But I'll see how I'm doing after the super chats. I do apologize. I know people don't like the super chats as much as me watching the videos, but we watched a good 4 episodes, I think. That's not bad, right? I could watch more if I didn't chat as much. I do apologize. Oh, Mama, what's up, girl? Mrs. Mama. Oh, what's up, girl? You gotta come over here and meow into the microphone. People want to hear your beautiful voice. Mama. I got Mama. I don't know if you can hear her, but she's speaking. My cat is meowing. All right. Oh, Mama. We're talking. What's up, Mazu? Are you doing okay, girl? Mama. Little baby. Are you okay? You got a very goopy eye. Are you all right? Sorry, I'm just talking to my cat. I have long conversations with my cat. Is my pup still outside? Yes. In fact, let me go let her back in. She probably wants back in. I'll be right back. And then I'll read some more super chats. I do apologize. Tilly. All right, Doc. Okay. Are you all right? Okay. The dog is back inside. Good call. Good call. All right. Oh. Sorry. All right. Let's read some of these. CM Origins, thank you for the super chat. Ghost Stories, but dubbed by Season 0 Kaiba. This is where I explained that I've not actually seen Ghost Stories. So I would make a reference to that. I would have Kaiba say a Ghost Stories quote. Isn't there a part where one of the characters goes, Mama say, Mama sa, Mama osa? Right? So there's that. Mama, why are you crying up there? Mrs. Mama. But that's a funny idea. The idea of Kaiba being the opposite of Kaiba and also making the opposite of an abridged series. RKO92, thank you for the super chat. Will you abridge Dark Side of Dimensions after the Ancient Egypt arc? That's, well, after the final episode, after the Millennium Duel, after the ceremonial duel. But not necessarily after the Ancient Egypt arc, no. That's actually the penultimate arc of Yu-Gi-Oh, followed by the final duel. I guess you could consider them to be part of the same story, but Cameron Walker, thank you for the super chat. Hey, LC, you've written LC, which is my you're thinking of Little Cuck Rebo. That's a friend of mine. I love your Frieza. It's iconic.
Yes, when I see Little Cuck Rebo, I will tell him. And then I'll be like, enjoy being a cuck.
Soge King 123, thank you for the follow. Thank you for the super chat. I'm used to the old alerts on my Twitch there. Thank you for the super chat. Hey LK, I don't remember when I found Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. Too many mental health issues that made my memory trash. But I can say I'm pushing 40 in a few years and still get giddy with every notification I get from your channel. Oh, well, thank you, Soge King. That's very kind. I'm glad you still get giddy with it. Sorry. Zelda G Jet, thank you for the super chat. I just got here, but I need more Freezer/Joey. All right. I'm trying to think. What situation would they be in? We've already had a bunch of Freezer-Joey interactions.
Man, I'm so used to having dream sex with Kaiba. It's weird to be hanging out with a wide-awake nightmare like you, Freezer. Yes. I don't have dream sex or real sex with anyone. I am asexual. Actually, I don't know about that. I have yet to discover how my species reproduces. Hey, man, maybe we can find out. Are you coming on to me? What's going on now? No, I just mean maybe we could go Google it or something. I'm always Googling stuff. Is that what your filthy monkey planet calls mating? I am not on board with this Google. Man, we could always Bing. I beg your pardon?
There, they're talking about search engines. Oh my gosh. All right. I hope that was enough Freezer-Joey for you. For some reason, that's become a thing. Mia Pickle, thank you for the super chat. I literally just left the theater from watching The Odyssey. Movie is fantastic, and you should all see it on the big screen. It's apparently very successful. I would love to check it out. I haven't had time or money or chance to do it. Solo Regis, thank you for the super chat. More of a real-life question. Did you ever think that you'd raise as much money as you did just from reaching out to your fans? Never. I'm actually incredibly humbled by it. The fact that so many people gave it, like, when I asked for the amount that I did, and you know, I'm going to say it, that I put the goal at $20,000, which I thought was crazy, and I didn't expect to even get necessarily half of that. But I made it that amount because that was the amount that would allow us to scrape by and pay the debts that we had. Because we actually owed more than $30,000, but I wanted to pay as much of it off with my money that I had earned and saved as much as possible. But the fact that people gave as much as they did, and it got to significantly more than what I even put as the goal, I feel so blown away. I don't, because I feel like no matter what words I use are not going to be enough to encapsulate how it made me feel, because I didn't, you know, there's a part of me that thinks, you know, I don't deserve it, and I keep having to reassure myself, and I keep having to remind myself, with the help of other people in my life, that that's not how it works. And I'm sorry for getting emotional about it, but it's really hard not to. It honestly was something that I never expected and never would have expected to begin with. So I can only say thank you. I really can only say thank you. It really is beyond anything that I've ever experienced doing this. So thank you again. I'm just going to keep saying thank you because I don't know how else to express how I feel about it. Princess King Forever, thank you for the super chat. Hi, LK, my favorite floof. Happy 20 years. Oh, thank you, Princess. Thank you, Your Majesty. You're very kind. Shy Eye, thank you so much for the super chat. See, that's why Rio lets Yami Bakura run around trying to murder all of them. Why? Wait, why? I missed it. Oh, because they leave him behind. Right. Now I understand. Yes, no, they're not good friends in the early parts of this show. And I don't even know if they're good friends in the later parts of the show, but... Wumbo, thank you for the super chat. So sorry, didn't mean to imply for you to keep the Borat shoddy. Oh, no, I didn't think that you were suggesting that. It's just it's been a topic of conversation. It's your project, do what you feel comfortable with. Just wanted to tell you not to beat yourself up too much for past jokes. Yeah, that's just it. I don't necessarily beat myself up about the past jokes. I'm sure that that's the impression I give, because I do ultimately regret several jokes from the previous episodes. In fact, this next episode, which I don't know if I'm going to have time to watch today, but, you know, it'll be a doozy to start the next stream off with, because there is specifically some jokes in this one that come from a place of ignorance. You know, they come from my own ignorance, which it's not so much that I beat myself up for making them. I just, you know, I ultimately wish I'd known better. And like I've said about several other jokes, and I've mentioned it in the second stream that I did, if these jokes are a source of humor for you, if you get something out of them, because I understand that there's a lot of problematic materials out there that are genuinely helpful for people who are going through something, who have questions about their own sexuality, their gender, their place in the world. Sometimes problematic humor is the only place to find any content that they can relate to. So I'm sure there are some people who watch these old episodes, especially this next one, which are related to, you know, like I've mentioned, there are transphobic jokes in this episode coming up, and it again comes from a place of ignorance for me. But I'm sure there are people out there that get something out of it, that see something in the humor here and are able to understand themselves and their own experiences better through them. So I don't beat myself up for making them. I just wish I'd approached it differently. And I ultimately am happy to leave those jokes out there because I know that there are people out there that do enjoy them. So it's not, again, a case of me saying, you fucking moron, how dare you, you are a bad person for doing this. It's more, I learned. I came to know better, and I'm glad that I'm more understanding of that sort of thing these days, and how better to approach it with comedy if necessary, you know? I hope that makes sense. I'm trying my best to put things into words. A Fiend, thank you for the super chat. Attention duelists, my hair is donating to this live stream. Thank you for all the laughs over the years. Well, you're very kind. I'm glad your hair is laughing. Jeffrey of Monmouth, thank you for the super chat. Any chance of a full Abridged series Blu-ray once it's all done? Thanks for 2 decades of laughs. Man, it would be great if we could release some sort of like official, like hard, like physical media version of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. I don't think it's in the cards because it, you know, I think if you tried to do something like that, it would suddenly become I'm trying to think of the word, but it would go from being a silly little show on the internet that is tolerated by the people who produce Yu-Gi-Oh! To being something that has become a product that they might have reason to not be okay with it if I start doing that. I think it would just open a can of worms that would be impossible to put back in the can, you know? Delta Septile, thank you for the super chat. When you re-uploaded a lot of these episodes, a lot of them had weird editing flubs where sometimes the freeze frame at the end of one shot will unintentionally be the first frame of the next shot. Yeah, that's what I'm noticing, and it's weird. I wish that I'd had the editing know-how that I have now back then, that I'd be able to avoid that, but you know, it still holds up okay, I think. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll see it get worse as we go, but I don't think so. Imp Brush, thank you for the super chat. I like when Arthur explains the plot very badly. Yes. I love Arthur. It's weird. The old guys, maybe it's because I'm getting old, but they're funny. They're fucking funny. Chelsea Lindsay, thank you for the super chat. Voice directing is hard. Don't beat yourself up. Now, you know what? I will admit, I do beat myself up about that. I don't beat myself up about the problematic stuff so much as I beat myself up about failing to do something. And voice direction, I really struggle with. I'm going to be honest, I just think of myself as a bad director. So if you ever are like, why is somebody in your show not as good as they usually are in other shows? It's because I don't give them anything to work with. But I'll try not to beat myself up. I'm aware that it's not great when I do that. Ruby Moonrose, thank you for the super chat. Hey there, Yu-Gi-Oh! Was a huge part of my life from early teen years into young adult, and I love how you made this an abridged staple. Thank you so much. Can't wait for the next episode. Oh, I'm really hyped for the next episode. There's some really fun Yami Yugi humor in the next episode. Can I be honest with you? I'm going to get real close to you guys. Uncomfortably close. Hello. So, I've missed Yami Yugi so much in the current season of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. Yami Yugi is not involved in like any of it. He's not there. He's just off to the side sometimes sitting in a chair being like, I'm here. I have one line. And I've missed him so much. I've really missed Yami Yugi. More than any other character not being around. Him not being around has really affected my ability to make jokes. So the fact that he's in this next episode a lot, I'm so happy. He's back, baby. He's back, baby. All right. I'm so happy he's back. All right. We have a couple more super chats. A few more super chats. And then I hate to say it. I think we're going to wrap up the stream because my voice is getting real shot. I can feel it happening. And I'm feeling exhausted. I hate to say it. But yes, I'm going to read the last of the super chats. I'm sorry. I'm real exhausted. I'm going to read the last of the super chats and then we're going to call it a stream. Thomas Fan 101, thank you for the super chat. To clarify, the drawing I gave you at Armageddon had Thomas on it. You can guess what my lifelong hyperfixation is. Sorry I didn't clarify the other day. I ran out of space in the super chat. Oh no, hell yeah. Thomas was very happy to be given to little Karibo as a print. Heck yeah. Thank you so much for that. I do appreciate that. All right, a few more. Nine Arachna, thank you for the super chat. Meow. You're speaking my language. Actually, you're speaking my cat's language. I don't speak that. I'm a Karibo. I'm a hairball. Strike Hero 37, thank you for the super chat. Happy 20 LK, little LK. Sorry, little K. I'm not a capital K, I'm a little K. Curious, are you a Digimon fan? I have never seen or played Digimon. Sorry. I always love monster design in Yu-Gi-Oh!, Digimon, and Pokemon. What's your favorite monster from each? All right. This is going to be easy. Yu-Gi-Oh!, Karibo, Digimon, whichever one is the Kamen Rider reference. I know that one of them is a Kamen Rider. And Pokemon, Magikarp. That's my faves, and it'll probably change at some point. Which of the Digimons is a Kamen Rider? You know what I'm talking about, right? He's like here, Justimon or something. Is that his name? Justimon? That's a Kamen Rider? Stingmon. Oh, I didn't know Stingmon. Stingmon, Stingmon, Stingmon. Oh, because he's a bug guy. I see. He is very Kamen Rider, isn't he? But I like Justimon. I think he's cool. I know about him because I'm friends with Karina Dilfasaur from the internet. I almost said it Drawfee, but she's not part of that anymore, sadly. But we love Karina. I love Karina. Karina's a good friend. Strike here. Oh, I've already read that. Morgan Sky, or Morgan Sky, thank you for the super chat. So glad I finally caught you live. Hi from the UK. Oh, heck yeah. Back home in old Blighty. Been watching YGO Abridged since high school. You've worked so hard to build what you have. You absolutely deserve it. Oh, you're very kind, Morgan. Thank you so much. Shout out to the UK. I hope you're doing well over there. I hope it's not too hot. My family's back there. I miss them. Zelda G Jet, thank you for the super chat. How much do I have to put forward to fund a side series of Frieza/Joey Odd Couple? Please don't give anything to fund that. I don't think that's something I would ever necessarily do.
It's called Linguini. Linguini. Now it's garbage.
Some good Odd Couple bullshit there. Othmane Hari. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Othmane. Sorry. Cheer up, man. Thank you for the super chat. Cheer up, man. We appreciate not only the abridged and game content, but also the journey you've shown us through We're Still Here. It has been great help. No, I appreciate you being on that journey with me. Thank you. I think that part of this is weird because whenever I talk about this stuff, I'm always like, you sound like you've got an ego, and you know it's impossible to not have an ego sometimes. But in this case, I think I'm being genuine, and I don't think it's an ego thing strictly. But I think part of what people have enjoyed and appreciated about my personal journey as a content creator and as, you know, an abridger or whatever, or as a person, is that you've kind of gone through this with me, you know? I've tried to be very personable. You know, I've tried to be, I've tried to always kind of just be a guy that happens to be making this stuff. And I like to think that you can kind of see me through the videos. So I think that the more you've watched the videos that I put out and the more time we've spent, that more time that I've spent making them and you've spent watching them, we've kind of, I know this sounds kind of parasocial and I don't want it to sound that way, but we've kind of been on this journey together. It's a two-way street. I always say this. It's a two-way street. The positive feelings that you're getting from the show, I'm receiving from you, and it goes back and forth that way. I think that we've all been on that journey together, and I'm really grateful to have had the opportunity to do that. I'm really grateful to have had the opportunity to show these parts of myself that I haven't really shown in any other way, in any other part of my life. I think you guys have seen a really... you guys have seen a side of me that I just cannot show to people otherwise. It's weird to be able to say that. I hope that it makes sense. But I don't open up very easily, but doing stuff like this makes it feel like I can, you know? Anyway. Whew, okay, a few more super chats and then we're done. I'm going to wrap up the stream. You guys are very kind and very patient. Mrs. Gamezilla, thank you for the super chat. Why did you say in a few hours the sun will rise doesn't make sense when he's replying to I'm cold and making a joke? Mrs. Gamezilla, you have absolutely every right to question that, because ultimately, Taya saying I'm cold and him saying in another few hours the sun will rise, it does make sense. But can I put this to you? It's a lame joke. Like, the reason for the joke, and we're putting this to one side while we're discussing this, the reason for the joke is that they are dubbing a line about Taya needing to pee. And so they've had to change the context of it in order for Tristan to even have a line, any kind of response to whatever she ended up saying, which was, you know, I'm cold. And so he points and he says, in another few hours the sun will rise. The original exchange is, I need to go to the bathroom. And he says, just go over the side of the boat. And she's like, I can't do that because, you know, she doesn't have the equipment to do that. That joke makes sense. The joke that they replace it with, which is, it will get warm when the sun comes out, I guess, it just barely makes sense. And it's a bad joke. So while, yes, you are right to say that the response does make sense, but also I think that saying, what the hell does that mean, is a valid response to a shit joke. You know? So I would justify it like that. It's not so much that I'm saying, that makes no sense, as much as it is, why did you say that? That's bollocks. Yeah, there's other ways to convey it, instead of, like, in a few hours the sun will rise. He could have been like, don't worry, the sun will be out soon. Like, that makes more sense, quite honestly. Madison, thank you for the super chat. Thanks for all the laughs from over the years. I wanted to say I got so happy/excited when I heard you talk in MBT's Yu-Gi-Oh video months ago. I was really excited to get to talk about all that stuff. Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. I was very honored. I know I'm not so much a super relevant YouTuber these days, and I don't even know if I'm a super relevant Yu-Gi-Oh YouTuber. But it was really cool to get to... Oh, hang on, what's going on with my VTuber? Oh, there we go. That was weird. Did my internet die? Am I back? Okay, I seem to be okay. Sorry. My browser keeps doing things that causes things to look like they're frozen. And I can never tell if I'm still around, if I'm still live. It looks like I'm live. Everything seems to be okay. Princess King Forever, thank you for the super chat. Shake the leggies. There you go. They're getting a good shake. All right, guys. No, it was a huge honor to get to be part of that video, and you know, it was just nice to take a trip down memory lane. Honestly, it was really a fun conversation. All right, guys. It's been just over 3 hours. I'm gonna call it there. I'm sorry to call it there, because not just because I'd like to keep going, but also because it means the next stream will start with the massively multiplayer online trading card game episode, the virtual world episode, which is another episode where you're gonna have to hear me say, "Oh, I have regrets about this one." Not just because of the transphobia that does exist in that episode, but mostly because I love the virtual world episodes. I love the concept of those characters being in a virtual space and interacting with the monsters the way they do. It's so cool and unique, and it doesn't happen very often in Yu-Gi-Oh! I wish I'd done more with it. I wish I'd spread it out over 2 episodes. That's the real regret, honestly. Okay, guys. I'm gonna call it there. I do apologize for not watching more videos. Hopefully we can do more next time. But I will be back on Monday with more of this 20th anniversary. And I'm sorry, I should acknowledge, I wanted the new episode of YGO Abridged, episode 89, to come out this week. That was my goal. Still needs a bit of work, so I'm hoping to bring it out early next week. That is the goal. That is my goal. I'm aiming for that. If the episode doesn't come out next week, something will have gone horribly wrong. And I'm always saying that, but this is true. I really want the episode to come out next time. Next week. So keep an eye out. That's my goal. We're going to watch that together when it comes out. Oh, Cogsworth H. Palmer, thank you for the super chat right at the end there. I love this show so much, I wish we got the end of Marek's Evil Council. I would definitely like to give an actual resolution to that. I apologize that you haven't seen one. Alright, guys. Oh, I have to go lay down. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this afternoon, or this evening, depending on where you're at. It's been a good time. You guys take care, I'm going to say feel better. That's what people say to me. I hope that you have a great rest of your Friday. That's the day, yes. And I'll see you guys on Monday with more celebratory Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged chatter. Take care, bye! Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Take care.